Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Hello, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3,709. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill. The Ted Smith. And Mike Hawk. Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. Today, Ryan Castle joins us from his basement studio dungeon bar. Once again, we will sit and spin. We ask what's in a name with 10 rock artists who go by their middle names. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorites, TV Time with Ted. Clack, drinkity down. All right, here we go. Tokyo man arrested for putting his brother's skull out to recycling instead of where it belongs in the compost. Yeah. Meanwhile, a cop in Florida is assaulted by a hot dog with mustard, kraut, and a bun he did toast. Woman trips child in grocery store, then sues, saying that she is the one in pain. Calling off work after injury from a giraffe might be hard to explain to your boss. And a wildlife park saves a swarm of bees from the jaws of a dinosaur. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
All the bitches, good day to you and yours. All right, July 4th has come and gone, and for the 15th time, competitive eater Joey Chestnut won the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. He did this when he devoured 63 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Might sound like a lot, but that's 13 less than the 76 hot dogs that he ate last year. And it's only a small fraction of the 7 billion hot dogs eaten in the U.S. between Memorial Day and Labor Day. Look, we love our hot dogs. Maybe that explains why there's hot dog jello. Yes, hot dog jello. And if that's not bad enough, don't worry, Ted, it gets worse. A brewery in Texas, they're releasing a hard seltzer brewed from leftover hot dog water. Now, that might sound like a bad idea. And it's because it is. But bad culinary ideas, it's nothing new. There's a Swedish plant-based food company. They just released a vegan burger. And it has the taste and texture and taste of human flesh. Yep. It even won an award. Now, if a vegan meat substitute that tastes like people isn't what you're looking for, perhaps we can interest you in Period Crunch. Now, what is Period Crunch? Well, Period Crunch, yes, Mike, it's a raspberry-flavored breakfast cereal in the shape of a woman's uterus that turns the milk red. And no, I'm not making that up.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I can't imagine anyone wanting to eat that. But,
oh, my God.
But food is not always eaten. Like Miles said, food can be used as a weapon. A man in Florida, he was arrested for battering a cop with a hot dog. A different man ended up in jail when he threw a cheeseburger into the face of a pregnant woman. And finally, a man was arrested for attacking his wife with a sandwich. They don't specify what kind. But anyway, look, man, food is food. We eat it. We play with it. Maybe we put stuff in it. Maybe you find it in weird places. Today, we want to know, how does food figure into the story?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
BECU. You've heard the name, seen the letters. But what does BECU stand for? Simply put, not-for-profit BECU stands for people. For charting your own path. For choosing what's right for members instead of what's profitable for someone else. Because they are the reason our credit union exists. So we do everything in our power to help them reach their financial goals. BECU. Power in people. All Pacific Northwest residents are eligible to join. Federally insured by NCUA.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All Patel's, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3,709. What a large and in charge program we have for you today.
My God.
I mean, everybody's happy to be back to work after a 3-day week. I mean, come on. Weren't you just thinking all night last night? Woo, can't wait till this is over.
Dude, and then we got here, and the energy's palpable.
It's been crazy.
Oh, I mean, it's unreal.
Ted, you came in looking as refreshed as I have ever seen you look in all the years I've known you.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ted is feeling great today. I can feel it.
Yep. Popped up this morning and said, let's attack another day.
Steve and I still smelled like alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Did anybody else get up today just go, the hell happened?
How did that go by so fast?
How was it Tuesday?
I know, like this.
How come I can only open one eye?
Where's the sun? Isn't that supposed to be July 5th? Where is it? Anyway, what a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. That is a fact. All right, Castle will join us. He's at home at his basement studio bar. And once again, we're going to sit and spin. And today we're going to ask what's in a name. We have 10 rock artists who go by their middle names because they're crazy.
Like Sting / Flea. I'm sure those are their middle names.
I mean, maybe. Bono. Who knows? Yeah. But either way, we've got, maybe you thought that was their real name. And it is. It's just the fact that they have a first name as well. So 10 rock artists who go by their middle name coming up. Also, we'll give some props from the weekend coming up with a Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you do not have the Odyssey app, I recommend you download that now. Mm-hmm. Tons of channels on there for free. Hundreds of different channels. Matter of fact, I read a memo today. It's going to get bigger and better.
That's right.
Yeah. It is. In the coming weeks. So get that bad boy now so you can say you are in on the cutting edge of technology before it actually happened. And then search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. You'll see that's one of the most listened to channels on the entire app. We only go live at 6 o'clock for more Men's Room. If you go and look now, there's nothing there. Why would we want to put audio up there? There's no reason you should be hearing our show in repeat. Just listen to us when we're live at 6 o'clock on the Men's Room Happy Hour. So we'll do a little props in the weekend, find out how everybody's 4th of July went. And today we're going to talk about food. Hopefully you got your fill of food over the weekend.
I did.
It's amazing that every year, of course, the Nathan's hot dog contest goes down. Always an exciting event. This year had even more excitement to it. I know Joey Chestnut typically dominates this thing for how many years in a row? 15?
What's it, 15?
I don't know that it's in a row, but this is his 15th win.
15 title in the last 16 years.
Jesus.
Here's the thing. There was even a protester. So in the middle of the contest.
Unbelievable.
Joey Chestnut takes the protester out.
Didn't he choke him out while he's eating?
I'm not even sure how quickly he did it. It was just like it was like a ninja move. It was so fast.
And then he went back to eating.
He still had a hot dog in one of his hand.
Right.
And he just took him out with the other hand and kind of chucked him to the side. And the guy was gone after that. So I'm not sure exactly what happened to the dude. It was either the quickest choke out in history or he just basically body slammed the guy into the ground.
Yeah, one of the two.
So that was fairly entertaining.
While competing. That's what I liked.
So apparently this guy is...
it is wild.
He's from the animal rights group Direct Action Everywhere. So Joey put him down. But he only downed 63 wieners, which, all things considered, he did, deal with a protester. It wasn't like it really took him that much time. But his record is still 76.
That was last year.
So he was still 20 dogs ahead of his closest competitor.
Jeez.
Either way, though, I think the woman champion this year was 40 dogs, to give you an idea.
I think you're right.
Watched a dude drink a whole gallon of lemonade, pink lemonade from Nathan's, and what seemed like nothing. New world record on the lemonade drinking.
Huh. How many different contests does Nathan's do?
I don't know, like 3 or 4 maybe?
Nathan's is like the biggest one.
Right.
But there's a bunch of other competitions, and that the guy that drank the lemonade, I think it was last weekend, he was drinking tomato paste or tomato sauce.
In a different. So
he does not get heartburn, is my guess.
No.
He's just a chugger, basically. So
Well,
he's a liquid guy. He's not an eater. He's a drinker.
It's looking that way.
Okay, all right.
So do you, as far as this goes, Nathan's, like you said, it's obviously the most famous, but is it like, do you have to qualify to be there, or can you just sign up?
No, you got to qualify.
Okay, so it is, you do the other contests leading up to this. And
Right, Nathan's Hot Dog is kind of like the Boston Marathon of
competitive eating.
If you qualify or you get a slot, it's kind of a big deal.
It is, right. And there's all kind of different competitions and stuff like that.
Yep. Sometimes you can know. So here's how you get the Boston Marathon and the New York Marathon work like this. You either make a time or a couple of different times and a couple of different marathons. Whatever that time is, it's established. Then you get a slot, so to speak.
Right.
You still have to pay for it and everything else. Or you run for a charity. But then you have to raise X amount of money. So you have to have like $5,000 already in your pocket.
Oh, no, my sister-in-law reaches out to, well, she used to.
For the charity just to be able to get in, I think.
Yeah, she's like, hey, I qualified. We're like, that's great. Can I borrow some money? Actually, it's not borrow money, but she hits out like all the different family members, and we all put in
you have to.
$200 or whatever, and then she gets run. And I'm like, Meredith, wait, let me get this straight. You have to pay them.
You have to run 4 hours in training.
So that you can run 26 miles.
Correct.
Do you see how stupid this is
Not only
from
that,
the outside looking in?
But you also have to do a few of those before you get there just to make sure you get a time if you're not doing a charity run. So there's a lot of training involved. And then, of course, you pay them to be there.
So that you can run 26.2
Or you know what you could do? You could just go out and run 26 miles sometime.
Right.
That would be
free.
tough enough, yeah. Speaking of hot dogs, anybody have a traditional hot dog over the weekend? We talked a lot about that before we went into
I had one at the game on Friday night.
You did get one?
Two last night.
You got two in. I didn't get one hot dog in.
Really?
Did not.
I got two, wanted a cheeseburger, and I was told, hey, man, that's for the kids. I'm like, I understand that, but I want to eat the cheeseburger. I ended up not eating a cheeseburger, and I watched the kids eat about half of their cheeseburgers. Sons of bitches.
Did you make them on the grill?
Yeah, they're all grilled.
Oh,
I was at a buddy's house.
Why didn't you just take the cheeseburger?
I was going to take the cheeseburger. My wife made it clear that I'd be a horrible person if I took this last cheeseburger. So I let someone else take the last cheeseburgers under the age of 12. Then, as I'm watching them eat this cheeseburger that I wanted, they like sneezed on it, ate about half of it, put a fork in it. And I'm like, I would have eaten that.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Well, Americans consume 7 billion hot dogs between Memorial Day and Labor Day every year. And a chunk of that went down over the past few days. So they've asked, what is the most interesting hot dog request at your cookout? Depending on where you are. Now, you get the standard stuff. So Google Trends put out some data on hot dog-related searches for the most uniquely popular hot dog styles in each state. Now, a chili dog was number one in 12 states, Pennsylvania, Colorado.
Love a good chili dog.
Almost all of the Southeast, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, all that. A lot of states had regionally themed dogs. Like, okay, who do you know would really like the Chicago hot dog?
Probably people in Chicago.
Yeah, well, in Illinois, right?
Right.
All right.
Okay, no. In fact, the Chicago hot dog is number one in Texas, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Ohio, and it is not number one in Illinois.
What's number one in Illinois?
I don't know. Korean hot dogs were number one in
New York?
Think about some of the more ethnically diverse states in the United States. When you think of a Korean
California.
hot dog, that would be a great guess. Utah.
What is a Korean hot dog?
I don't know. Oregon, Nevada, and Minnesota. Also, Korean hot dog number one. I'm not exactly sure.
I'm going to Google
Is that kimchi instead of maybe...
What, instead of like
maybe
relish or
sauerkraut?
something? Hang on. Korean hot dog. It sounds like a sex move.
Well, we know Korean fried chicken is delicious.
Yes.
We know Korean
is.
barbecue is delicious.
Correct.
We know almost everything you get in a Korean restaurant is fantastic. So
Korean hot dog.
They better be doing the hot dog, right?
Korean hot dog, there are hot dogs, rice cakes, fish cakes, or mozzarella cheese, coated in batter, sometimes panko, french fry pieces, or ramen, and then it's deep fried.
Oh!
They're finished with sugar and the signature squirts of your condiment of choice.
It's like a katsu burger, but in a hot dog.
Yeah, basically.
You know? Okay. What else we got? Mexican dogs, popular in...
Arizona.
You would think so. Wyoming, nowhere near there.
Mexican.
Is that the same thing as a Serrano dog?
No, it's not. And I don't know what a Mexican
the
dog
Sonoran
is.
hot dog. It's
The Sonoran hot dog is the one that's wrapped in bacon. It is delicious. Colombian dogs, very popular in Florida. And Italian dogs are the ones that are the most popular in New Jersey. So that does make sense.
Hold on. Colombian hot dog. You have any idea what that is?
It sounds like a sex move.
Again, they all do. Colombian hot dog. Hang on.
It's number one in Florida. Which, I mean, technically, based on geography, isn't too far off. It's far off.
Ooh. It's got pineapple in it, sugar, cornstarch.
That's different.
Yep.
See, I think they would do some kind of like Cuban hot dog, which would involve like
pickles,
ham, or, Swiss cheese or whatever the hell it is. Some went really local. So Michigan, they searched for Michigan hot dogs.
What is a Michigan hot dog? I mean, do you have any idea what any of these are?
I don't.
I don't.
Kansas City wants a Kansas City hot dog.
I don't. I'm assuming barbecues on it, maybe?
California likes street hot dogs.
That's the ones you just find on the street.
I guess so.
Loose hot dog.
What is a street? I mean, just...
Maybe like a hot dog cart like we have.
Yeah, but...
Street dogs.
Right, but don't you...
Oh, come on.
You typically do them a certain way, no matter what.
So a Michigan hot dog, basically, it's just a chili dog, but the chili's beanless.
Well, most chili for a hot dog is beanless.
Right, so it says a Michigan hot dog features an all-beef dog, but tangy, beanless chili, then topped with onions and mustard. That's it.
Now we get into the weird aspect. There are even stranger results. Illinois and Missouri. Okay, so here's Illinois. They like carrot hot dogs. I don't know what a carrot hot dog is.
Is that just a hot dog?
But I really hope
with
it doesn't.
Carrot substituted for the actual...
Is that maybe like the slaw that they use? So maybe they use like a carrot slaw on top. Like,
man, I get the feeling it's just a grilled carrot.
If you think about, I don't know, maybe like, coleslaw. Maybe that is a carrot slaw. Who knows? Connecticut searched for hot dog jello.
I just pulled up a picture of that, and I wish I didn't.
Hot dog jello?
Look at this.
That is not okay. That is not okay.
Picture like a bundt cake, all right?
God.
Seriously, it's a bundt cake full of gelatin, and inside of that gelatin is chopped up hot dogs, and it looks as gross as you think it does.
Hawaii likes, look at this one, waffle hot dogs. So I'm just assuming it's a hot dog, and you put it in a waffle.
That's my guess.
Right? So instead of like chicken and waffles, it's hot dog and waffle. Pretty much. Which is a poor man's chicken and waffles. If you're putting a lonely hot dog on top of a waffle.
Oh, it's completely wrapped in a waffle.
Oh, it is.
So it's not. Okay. It's more like a corn dog, but the coating is an actual waffle.
That sounds kind of good.
It does. People in South Dakota are searching for recipes for hot dog bean soup. Now, we've all eaten beans and weenies as a kid, right?
Right.
But this is bean soup with hot dogs.
I never thought to myself that this would be better.
You got a pizza in Mexico with cut up hot dogs instead of pepperoni, didn't you?
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten, man. Castle and I, we were super hungover, and
did you know that hot dogs were on top and just went for it?
So they gave us like the small menu. It's hard to explain where we were. It wasn't quite a restaurant, but they had some pizzas, all right? So, like I said, we're dripping with sweat. We're super hungover. I'm like, man, let's just get a pepperoni pizza. And I think I went to the bathroom or something. I came back. He's like, I ordered a pizza with hot dogs on it. I'm just like, why? Why? And they brought it out, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And somehow I still didn't throw up.
Okay. Maine was grilled hot dog, which is not the worst thing.
All right.
Come on. You seriously had to Google that?
How to grill hot dogs?
Put it on the grill.
Yeah, apparently they do. And what else we got here? Washington, D.C. went with vegan hot dogs.
Come on.
That's what
I guess if you're looking up stuff, though, that's why they're all kind of stranger.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because it's not... Because they're strange. You haven't heard of them. So it's like, all right, we got to Google this.
I figure that's fair. Like, if you want to find a good company that makes vegan hot dogs, but grilled hot dogs...
Here in Washington State, we too are into the Korean hot dog.
All right.
That is the most popular one. Yeah. Sonoran hot dog, number one in Alaska. Okay.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Hot dog chili. Hot dog chili. Okay, yeah, that dominates the entire South. Speaking of hot dogs, one more story involving hot dogs, since it's all hot dogs all the time now.
Yeah.
Florida man facing felony battery charges for allegedly striking a cop with a thrown hot dog, according to court records. Investigators say that Jason Stoll, 47 years old, he was selling hot dogs on a downtown St. Petersburg street corner early Saturday when police gave him numerous warnings that he was in violation of a city ordinance. Stoll, however, ignored the warnings and continued to sell hot dogs in the road after the street closure permit ended, according to an officer. The defendant was asked to put that hot dog down as he continued his attempt to sell it.
Sir, put down the hot dog.
Back away from the dog.
According to Officer Anthony Brigano, when directed to drop the dog, Stoll reportedly became extremely upset and threw the hot dog, as they say, which is not a sandwich, at a uniformed patrolman.
Did they add that to the story?
They did here, yes, on the smoking gun. The hot dog hit the cop, who was not injured by the airborne bun and beef.
Oh, thank God.
Stoll was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, which is a felony.
Yes.
He was also charged with resisting, a misdemeanor, for allegedly struggling with the cops as they sought to place him under arrest. He's still in jail. He lives about 40 miles from St. Petersburg in Newport Richey, There's no idea why people don't know why he was there, but he and his wife, I guess, they just purchased a $230,000 home earlier this year. So they live in a pretty nice place.
And he was what, just on the street selling hot dogs?
He was on the street in
so I guess he's
St. Petersburg.
Not licensed to sell hot dogs, or the street closure had ended, and that was their...
One of two things. Either the city needed a permit, or he needed a permit to be in that part of the city, or you couldn't sell that stuff in that part of the city. Either way, they just asked for him to leave.
I don't think he ever had permission to sell out there. They might have closed the street to have some sort of affair where there were vendors out there.
All right.
Because it said that he had numerous warnings from officers and then one more after they had opened it back up. So that tells me that he was out there when he wasn't supposed to be in the first place. And then now that he's blocking traffic, not necessarily blocking traffic, but now he's just out there on the street. Now they have the green light to go grab
I like
him.
that the cops had to tell him, sir, put down the hot dog.
Yeah.
We will not ask you to put the hot dog down again.
Have you ever been hit with any food before?
My brother and I once got into a fight when I was like a teenager, and I threw chicken at him.
Like a chicken leg, chicken breast?
Yeah. Like it was one of those deals where, like, I don't know where my mom was. It was just us and my dad at home, and he was like, well, you guys just go outside if you're going to fight.
Right.
And then, yeah. I remember specifically, though, it was chicken and rice. I threw a whole plate at him.
I hit my brother in the face with Honey Nut Cheerios once. I can't remember what he said, but I'm eating cereal. I'm probably 12 years old. He says, I just stuck my hand in the bowl and just whipped him at him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. No harm, no foul. Just...
My sister threw an egg at me one time. It just didn't land on me. It hit the wall behind me, so she got to clean that up.
Okay, all right. I was, it's crazy, but one of the highlights of my afternoons when I was 18, 19 years old, get done with class about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You come home, you watch General Hospital. I know this sounds crazy. You get a snack, whatever, right? So I'm sitting down watching General Hospital one day. My roommate, Jeff, he's sitting in the other chair. Jeff has a pizza in the oven, all right? This is all right with me. Tony's Pizza, not the best in the world. Standard pepperoni, not great, but it's a pizza. I'm gonna try to work my way into a piece of this pizza.
Right.
All right. When it's done, whatever. My other roommate, Craig, comes home. He smells. And he goes into the... He goes into the kitchen. He's in there for a while. Don't really think anything of it. I'm still watching General Hospital with Keaton. And Craig comes back in the living room, and he's got the pizza. And he's got the pizza. Basically, he put it back on the cardboard that it was originally on.
Yeah.
When he took it out of the pan, because I don't think we owned a spatula. So that was like his way of getting it out of there. And he takes the pizza then, and he frisbees it at Jeff's head, and the pizza smacks him right in the cheek, and it's still hot with cheese and stuff, all right? Apparently, this was Craig's pizza. And the only thing that he wanted to do was come home and get the pizza, but out of spite, because Jeff was already making his pizza, he got pissed off and frisbeed it at him in his face.
I was going to ask, why did he throw his pizza?
I would have said, and I told him, like, why didn't you just take it? He's like, I didn't want it now. He's like, that's not what I wanted. I don't want it right now. And I was like,
I got you. It's my pizza. It's just
pizza.
Not what I want to eat right now.
Exactly. Like, I came home, you're eating my pizza. Pizza to the face. Our question, how does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
The idea of owning a home felt like a pipe dream.
That's BECU member Leandra talking about her home buying experience.
So we went to BECU where I met our mortgage advisor, Lauren, and she was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how you buy a home.
As a not-for-profit credit union, BECU helps members find the right home loan to meet their needs. Learn more at becu.org/home loans. BECU, power in people. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS ID 490518. Members were compensated for participation.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I worked on a charter boat for 25 years where we take the general public out fishing. And a lot of times they'll offer you food and stuff from their lunch if they have leftovers. And one time I ate something that was not good. I spent the next day, like 2 or 3 days getting sick. Gave me food poisoning.
Do you have any idea what it was?
And I was like, it was a sandwich that probably was in with mayonnaise, not cooled on a warm day.
All right.
The first couple of years of my fishing experience, so I from that point forward, someone would offer me something. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good.
I thought it was standard knowledge that if you were to bring a sandwich on a boat, a charter boat, or if you're going fishing in general, You had to go to the deli at the grocery store and get that sandwich.
Yeah, most of the people would get like a Subway or some fried chicken.
So is this a homemade sandwich that somebody gave you?
Yes.
Okay.
Miles, you are right, though. Every time I go fishing, it's specifically you got to go to the grocery store and buy a sandwich.
I also do appreciate 10 a.m. I'm buying fried chicken guy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because cold fried chicken's fine.
I love cold fried chicken, man.
I've ever told you the story about years ago, we're going to Virginia Tech, right?
All right.
So they're playing Maryland, like they just joined the ACC. We're all fired up, and we get down there, and we stopped at a Hardee's, right, which is Carl's Jr. out here. My dad walks in and goes, "How much chicken do you have?" And the guy goes, 40 pieces. He goes, "Good, we'll take 50. And then we had to sit there for I don't know how long it took to cook.
Did you really need 50 pieces of chicken?
No, we didn't need 50.
How many people were in your group?
I mean, we had there was a decent amount of us. There was probably like 10 people.
All right. But not enough for 5 pieces of chicken each.
No.
Yeah, that's a meal. 5 pieces of chicken. I mean.
And he already had 40 of it ready. But my dad insisted on getting 50.
What was the look on the guy's face when your dad's like, "Great, we need 50"?
I mean, just if there's a way to say, "Are you effing kidding me?" without saying,
right. That's just the
exact look. Right. And again, we're in Blacksburg, so a lot of people want to get chicken to go to this game.
Yeah. I forgot that Hardee's had fried chicken.
Yeah.
Completely forgot. How does food figure into the story? 206-421, Rob.
Well, that's the problem. They don't anymore after the Smiths come to.
I'll tell you what they do. They have a great fried chicken biscuit in the morning.
Do they?
Oh, God. It's amazing.
Never had it. Hello, Trent. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. All right. Long story short, did some couch surfing in my younger days, hanging out with buddies, jumping house to house. And I'm at my buddy's house one day and smoke a little bit of weed. And we're sitting there. We get hungry. And he's like, "I'm going to go whip up some food." I was like, "Cool." Sitting on the couch, playing guitar, hanging out. And he turns the corner and he was like, "Heads up," and starts throwing frozen waffles at me from the freezer. And I put my hands up to block said frozen waffle, and one of them hit my hand, and he broke my pinky with a frozen waffle.
Get out of here.
Wow.
Are we talking standard Eggo waffles?
Yep, Eggo waffle, baby. Eggo waffle straight to the pinky.
All right.
Yeah, needless to say, that sucked.
Yeah, I mean, to just have to tell people how that happened probably would suck the most, more so than the injury itself.
I don't know.
Right?
I would enjoy that story. Like, honestly, my buddy hit me with a frozen waffle. Broke my damn pinky. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you had a frozen waffle?
They're delicious.
They're okay. I don't even remember the last time. I used to eat them pretty religiously.
They're a great late-night snack.
I was going to say, I have some in my freezer right now, but I bet that box is a year old.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, man, when's the last time I had one?
They taste like the box.
They do. That is one thing.
They're not going to get any better. No. It's like, oh, thank God these are before the born-on date.
Right.
Right. How does food figure into the story? 206-421 Rock.
Throughout my entire life, I have been the consistent victim of falling asleep in public, and somebody has just found a way to screw with me. I have had both. There was one time I fell asleep on the couch watching TV. I don't care what, but I was living at home at the time, and I woke up to this nasty, gooey consistency in my mouth. My old man had grabbed the Easy Spray cheese from the pantry, squirted it directly into my mouth. And there was another time I fell asleep watching the Seahawks game up with my grandma's, and my cousins were there, and I woke up to this weird, cold, dripping yet sugary feeling.
Yeah.
He had grabbed a giant thing of whipped cream and just put it onto a plate, and then he just dripped it all over my head.
This is your father.
The first one was my father, the second one was my cousin, but my dad was pretty much the constant attacker on that one.
Mm-hmm. I fell asleep at a party once, and it was a college party, but I was still in high school.
Yeah.
So my buddy Bernie's already going to school, blah, blah, blah. I fell asleep, and somebody put mustard in my ear.
Oh, no.
My buddy Leon put lard on. Same thing, fell asleep at a party. This guy Chuck, and we'd even said, whoever passes out first, we're going to put lard on you. All right. So, and everyone knew this, but, inevitably alcohol catches up. Chuck passes out. And Leon takes this big old scoop of lard, just puts it on his forehead, man. But, it starts rendering with your body heat. He was so greasy and so pissed off when he woke up.
Because that's the thing. You wake up exhausted, and you don't want to have to immediately run to the sink to clean yourself off.
Yeah. And it was lard.
Yep. Couple of burger stories. Florida man turned himself in to the Okaloosa County Sheriff, announcing, "I have problems." The man has problems, and the cheeseburger is not one of them. Anger management is. 23-year-old Taylor Stevens was arrested for throwing a cheeseburger into the face of a pregnant family member and then shoving her to the ground during an argument. He fled the scene after the incident, but eventually returned to face the consequences of his crime. Stevens turned himself into police, where he was charged with aggravated battery against a woman after a witness corroborated the account. Not the first time a Florida man has assaulted a woman with a cheeseburger. In 2008, a man was charged with domestic violence for shoving his cheeseburger into his girlfriend's face. Then in 2011, another Florida man charged with misdemeanor for throwing a cheeseburger at a car at a McDonald's drive-thru. Police found a large spot of ketchup measuring 6 inches by 6 inches on the side of the victim's vehicle.
My God.
And cheeseburger pieces on the hood. They can be traced back to the culprit. But here's the real cheeseburger story we want to tell you. Because we've talked about this before, but it turns out maybe we're closer to it than we think. They say if you've ever had a hankering for a human meat burger, the folks at a Swedish plant-based food brand called Oomph have got just the thing for you. The burger, which is plant-based, therefore vegan, isn't actually made of human flesh. It just tastes exactly like it, apparently.
How do they know?
According to the company, has the texture of human flesh burger. As the writer for Bro Bible says, how they know these two things is a question for another day.
I think that is an important... Like, the texture, I go, okay, I can touch myself, and I do. I know the texture, but I would not know... If you served me human, I don't know that I'd be like, it tastes like people.
It also just won an award, the Silver Brand Experience and Activation Lion, at this year's Cannes Lions Festival for Creativity for its marketing campaign. Either way, we developed this burger in no time as soon as we knew what taste and texture we were after. According to Oomph co-founder, corporate chef, and head of innovation, Anders Linden.
Who might also be a cannibal.
Right, like were people pining for this? Like, hey, we need something to taste like human flesh?
But we've already had this conversation. If you could, I mean, we've had it at the poll.
Right, because it's hypothetical.
Right.
Not because we have leftover
it was
people.
It was human taco. That's human taco won the poll.
Sure.
So obviously...
yeah, I mean, what was it up against, though?
Things that were better than options than eating human. Like you eat a deep-fried turd or something like that. Remember that?
Yeah, I picked the human taco, though. Because the alternative was a deep-fried turd.
Spoonful of pus.
Right.
That would have been okay to do that.
No.
It would have been the hardest thing other than eating human flesh.
See, I would rather eat the person. Now, that said, I don't know that I need a vegan. I mean, I guess if I have to resort to cannibalism, maybe I go vegan so that I'm not actually eating people. I just don't know that that's what I want to do.
It says, why would a company create a burger that tastes like human flesh? We developed this burger in no time, as soon as we knew what taste and texture we were after. According to the co-founder, corporate chef, and head of innovation, one Anders Linden again. It was first introduced on the eve of Halloween in 2021 because Oomph wanted to prove that it is in fact possible to produce plant-based products that taste like any meat and are exciting to try.
Again,
they're going for everything.
If you say it tastes like chorizo, I can eat it and give you my opinion, beef or turkey. But again, who are your taste testers? Like, do you go to Papua New Guinea and say, "Hey, man,
it's probably not a good
some
idea.
of your tribal leaders.
You might become dinner."
Right?
Is this close enough to human?
Is this close enough to human? We have one human burger. This one's vegan. Can you tell the difference?
Yeah, but you take them a Baconator, man. It's a game changer.
Oh yeah,
they might not ever eat people again. Guys, I'm incredibly proud of this award and the great teamwork behind it. Our mission is to change how people eat, and it is our duty to use creativity as a tool to make the change happen. As a small brand, we need to be bold and ready to push some boundaries to break through. I think this campaign is a good example of us doing just that. So don't be surprised here within the next couple of years if you can't get your hands on one of those burgers.
I'm not going to lie to you. I would try it.
Yeah, human meat taco did dominate.
What is the most exotic meat you believe you've tasted? As far as, wow, that's not exotic, but exotic for wherever you're from, whatever you're used to, your diet.
I mean, honestly, I don't know if people call it meat, but it is, but the escargot. Mm-hmm. Right. As far as just...
That's a good call.
I don't know that I've eaten anything that troubled me as much to put in my mouth. You know, and look, they were delicious, make no mistake, but it just looks like snails. It has a consistency of snails, but tasted like garbage.
Why do it drive people crazy, certain meats? Just because everybody's going to have a tough time with stuff. So, in certain countries, it's perfectly fine to eat horse. And horse steak is a common thing.
Or dog.
In a couple countries.
Cats.
And you look at a horse steak, and you think to yourself, that looks amazing. So, I think, on that tip, probably ostrich. I had an ostrich steak.
How was it?
It was absolutely one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. I could not believe how good that was. It was lean, but but it was juicy.
All right.
But it was still delicious as far as the taste. It didn't have a taste that was so off-putting, or like it tasted good. It tasted like if chicken could be steak at the same time.
Okay.
All right.
Was it kind of? Did it have a purple tinge to it? Like
That's
It
what I
did,
always
yeah,
hear.
yeah. And they did. I mean, granted,
I've had emu before.
It was at El Gaucho. So anything they do there is going to be good already. So they're not going to mess up any meat. But you go to a steakhouse to roll the dice on ostrich. Because you're at a place where you know you can get a really good steak.
But I would roll the dice with ostrich because I've heard good stuff about ostrich, and you're at a place where you know they know how to do food. Now, if McDonald's said, try the McO, we're
if
doing
they had an
new-
ostrich burger in Australia at McDonald's, I would go and buy it.
I would try it there.
And knowing what I already know about the meat now.
Would you try iguana? There was a chick I went to school with. She was from Trinidad, is what it was. And so we were talking about pizza. She was commenting on the toppings on my slice of pizza. And it was just like pepperoni and sausage. I'm like, well, what do you get on yours? So the first thing is she adds ketchup, which I thought was weird. And she goes, look, if you go to Trinidad, that's fairly standard.
Right.
I was like,
Ketchup on pizza?
Yeah, I'm like, it seems a little redundant, but whatever, man. Who cares? I'm like, cool. And she goes, and actually we get iguana meat. And I thought,
What if that's ground crumbled like sausage?
I think she said it's kind of ground up like sausage if you get it on pizza. But she said that when you cook it, it's still kind of green, the meat itself. And I'm like, are you kidding?
I don't think I could eat green meat.
I'd
try it.
I would try it.
I mean,
on
I taste
pizza.
anything.
Yeah. But I mean, she swore about it. She was like, look, dude, you would, like, if the meat wasn't green, you wouldn't even know.
Miles, would you have eaten the gator that dons your wallet?
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alligator's delicious.
Gator is unbelievable.
I've never had gator meat.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it in New Orleans where everything is good, so maybe that helps. But it's pretty tender, man. It was.
No kidding.
It's really, really good. Yeah,
I would think it'd be tough. I don't know why, but
I thought it would be too.
Maybe it's the scaly exterior, but I just assumed that it would be tough.
Somebody here says camel steak is one of the best things they've ever had.
Camel steak, huh?
Yeah, camel steak.
I bet it is.
Somebody else, bear heart. They say from that day's hunt, but they add it was absolutely amazing. Speaking of hearts and people eating things, did you hear about the guy?
What is the trend with people eating heart meat now? What is up with that? Is that weird?
It's supposed to be healthier for you and this and that. And then a lot of people, if they're hunters, they just like it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you do.
all right.
But there's a guy that killed his landlord, I believe, over the weekend, and then ate the guy's heart.
Yes.
Wow. So that was the first thing you went after. Because you would think that would be the toughest muscle in the body, based on how it's constantly working.
You hope it is, yes.
So you would think that's
Kind of a different kind of labor, though.
I realize that, but it's always moving. So unlike, your ass, which is sitting in a seat for sometimes 4 or 5 hours during the day, that to me would be the Mac Daddy marbled area. A heart seems like it would be the lean, you need to slow cook this, you need to cook it longer. It's going to take more time to break it down, kind of like a roast.
Also ends world crisis when you eat it, apparently.
Yes, that was the guy's goal.
Oh.
Evil would leave the world if he ate his landlord's heart. Turns out he was wrong.
Well, he wasn't. The evil
Give it
being
time,
paying
man.
rent.
Yes.
Yeah. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Betty. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi. Hola.
Hola, Betty.
Okay. Real quick, I have a niece here, up here in Washington. She got a DV case from throwing a cheeseburger at her ex-boyfriend, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. But having food poison when you're on the road.
And let me guess, you're squirting out the backside?
Yes.
When you say you're on the road, were you traveling or you're physically in a car driving someplace?
Tractor trailer. We're at a truck stop. And everything in one and out the other type thing. All night long.
So
we had to drive.
Do you keep driving or do you just kind of take the night off?
Oh, no, we had to go. We were doing trade shows. We were in Bakersfield, and we had to be in Santa Clara the next day.
The good news is a lot of those truck stops have showers. You might have needed one.
Yeah. Showers and bathrooms, yeah.
Yeah.
How often were you pooping? I mean, like, how many times did you have to pull over?
By the time we had to leave, I just stopped drinking. And then by the time we got there, they had to take me to the hospital because I was so dehydrated. But we stopped, I'd say, about 4 or 5 times.
And what do you think what was the culprit in this?
I went to Chipotle for the first time.
Okay.
It just lit your ass up.
Wow. So you believe, was it the spices or do you think that you got a bad piece of something?
Oh, no, I got food poisoning.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It was not... It was a fact. It was food poisoning, but yeah, it was one of the most horrible experiences of my life.
Now, were you in the truck with someone else?
Yes, my husband was driving.
All right, now, are you, like, blowing out, like, the safety farts the whole time? In other words, did the inside of that truck just reek?
Put it this way, he had the windows down.
Well, you didn't go to the bathroom in your pants, right?
No.
Okay, well, that's the most important thing. As long as you can keep it together.
It's not a very, I mean, it's one thing when you're sick at home or maybe in a hotel room, but when you're on the road, there's nothing quite like it.
Was it coming out both ends?
Nope, just one end, thankfully.
Just the end you sit on, right?
Yeah. When I got through, other than the mushroom, which put me in the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't remember that because I just passed out on the toilet like Elvis. But when I was down in the Dominican Republic,
not quite like Elvis.
Well, I mean, I didn't die.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
How old was he when he died?
I just read
40-some, what do we say, 42?
Yeah, it was like early 40s.
See, I'm 52 now. I already beat him by a decade.
Yeah, you got
him. If I die right now in the toilet, man, at least I got Elvis by 10 years. He was famous and everything, but I can say, you know what, man, I got him by 10 years in the toilet. I was down in the Dominican Republic, and they have this thing where they basically have restaurants that are on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So they had this split grilled lobster, which was maybe one of the greatest things I've ever eaten in my life. So I get it like on whatever, Monday night, Tuesday night. So now the one meal, and you know how you go to these places that are like, they're just resorts, and you're kind of there. There's a downtown area where you can go to actual restaurants, but what is on the property? It's always an Asian place.
Right.
And an Italian place. Right. You want pasta? You want, yeah. So we'd had enough. Go downtown, and this is what I learned. Never order ceviche from a small hut.
No.
That grills lobster. I know
from a hut?
Basically a hut with
got ceviche in a hut.
Let me tell you something. This guy basically
bold move.
This guy basically had a spear, and when you ordered your food, he went and got it.
Right.
Like I've experienced this a couple times. Once in Jamaica at a jerk chicken place that also had snapper, and that place where he basically you said like, I want a lobster, and he's like, okay. And don't get me wrong, he might have a trap down in the bottom full of like 7 or 8 lobsters. And he just goes down and gets one. I have no idea because he asked you how many pounds you want. So I'm pretty sure that's just kind of part of the thing. Like,
sure.
All right. The associate goes down. He's gone, and the next thing you know, like you see this hand pop up with a lobster in your hand, right? So it's one of these kind of places. So he's like, man, I just made some ceviche. Would you like some? I was like, yeah, I'll take the ceviche.
Fresh.
Before I could leave dinner, I was sweating.
Oh, no.
I started.
Did you already know what it was?
Mouth sweat, top sweat. I'm like, oh no, oh no, this is not going well. It was horrible. I thought I was going to die. I was just sweating and shaking. And I'm in the Dominican Republic. Like, and I'm not in a big town. I'm in like a small little dinky ass town. Like, what am I going to? I don't want to go to the hospital. You know, I'm just going to try to sweat this out. And like she said, just kept drinking water, kept puking, woke up the next morning, kept drinking water, just trying to get my crap back together. I'm on vacation.
That sucks.
This is like, I'm out for like 2 days on vacation. Just like, I couldn't even go lay by the pool because I felt so bad.
I risked it once, but it ended up, my wife and I, we were in Mazatlan, Mexico, right? The kids are playing on the beach. We're sitting on this wall, drinking beer. I'm smoking cigarettes. But there's a family in front of us, and same thing. They have like this hut set up, man. And this is the full on, it's probably like 15 family members. And they'd send the kids out in the ocean, right? And there's people all over the beach. And they'd just grab a bunch of oysters, bring them back, and they'd shuck them right there, and different people would come up and buy them, right? And that's constantly the business. My wife and I are looking at these, and she's like, I kind of want to try them. I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know.
How warm is the water? That would be my first question.
Dude. So the water's probably 80 degrees. Have you ever had a warm oyster?
That's why you don't eat them in the Gulf of Mexico.
So they were oyster. Dude, it was weird. So now it really does feel like snot because it's body temperature. They were tremendous. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Huh.
I mean, because we were looking at them, and I'm like, this might be the dumbest idea we've had. And she's like, man, let's just try them. They were effing, we ended up getting like 3 buckets from them. Seriously, man, it was good. But I don't necessarily recommend you try it because I was very, very sketched out the whole time.
How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Right now on the Odyssey app, download No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith on some of his latest podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I sat down with Draymond Green and we got into everything in regards to Jordan Poole and what happened between those two. I also had a hilarious conversation with Bill Maher on the state of politics in today's day and age, and Elon Musk, of all people, of course. Plus, I had to talk about my feelings on the whole Rihanna, Beyonce brouhaha.
No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith. Get it today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Right now on the Odyssey app, download No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith on some of his latest podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I sat down with Draymond Green and we got into everything in regards to Jordan Poole and what happened between those two. I also had a hilarious conversation with Bill Maher on the state of politics in today's day and age, and Elon Musk, of all people, of course. Plus, I had to talk about my feelings on the whole Rihanna, Beyonce brouhaha.
No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith. Get it today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Right now on the Odyssey app, download No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith on some of his latest podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I sat down with Draymond Green and we got into everything in regards to Jordan Poole and what happened between those two. I also had a hilarious conversation with Bill Maher on the state of politics in today's day and age, and Elon Musk, of all people, of course. Plus, I had to talk about my feelings on the whole Rihanna, Beyonce brouhaha.
No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith. Get it today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information. Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Podcast will join us coming up. We'll spin 10 rock artists who go by their middle names. That's on the way after emails on our question. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Guess who it is, Ted? James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola, liquor and whores, guys.
Liquor and whores.
All right, so last year in October, my wife and I had the pleasure of going on the KISS cruise, and one of our stops was the island of Roatan in Honduras. So when we took our island excursion, we stopped at one of the local restaurants because we wanted to try something authentic, something a little different than boat food. So they had iguana there, and I ordered it up. And it wasn't quite green. They make it into like a stew.
All right.
Came with red beans and rice and fried plantains. But the problem with the iguana is there is so many bones in it that every single bite you take, you're spitting out bones and other body parts.
Oh, God. So more like a goat stew?
I've never had a goat stew.
Because there's tons of there's bones throughout that whole thing.
How did it taste, aside from all the bones in your mouth?
Well, it tasted very good because it was in some kind of a red sauce with the occasional potato. And so whatever spices they used was tasty. So it was difficult to taste just the meat itself.
Okay.
Because of all the other stuff. But it was almost like after they cleaned the animal itself, the lizard, they just put the body on a big chopping block and took a cleaver and just chopped it all up into pieces and threw it in a pot.
Huh. So how big are the bones? Is it on scale with like fish bones?
You got everything from fish bones up to small chicken bones.
Damn. All right, and you said every bite, basically, you're spitting the bones out?
Every single bite. In fact, when they put the plate in front of me, I could look down and you could see it all in there. And so at first it was kind of difficult trying to pick around it, so I just gave up and just took a bite or two. And yeah, you're spitting it out on every single bite.
All right, let me ask you this. You're on a KISS cruise, so when you were done and there's a little bit left on your plate, did you lick it up?
Oh. Jesus. Come on.
It had to be. You know what? F you guys.
Jesus.
I've been waiting for that, man.
Oh, let's put the S in sausage.
Good one.
Yeah. Okay, so like on the cruise, do they do like the Rock and Brews type of menu, like with the KISS restaurants, or is it just still whatever ship they've booked? They're just standard fare.
No, it's the standard fare, and they always use Norwegian Cruise Lines, and they have KISS-themed stuff throughout the whole boat, but all the restaurants are pretty much serving their own food, but they do have about 6 specially created KISS cocktails that you can buy anywhere on the boat.
Which is funny. Right. Paul and Gene notoriously don't drink.
I'll have a Vinnie Vincent vodka, please.
Those guys don't drink, but Gene certainly got a portion of the money for those cocktails.
You mean to tell me not like Mark St. John or any of those people who were?
I think he's dead.
Eric Singer. Oh, is he dead? He's not going to drink.
Mark St. John, yeah. He's dead.
Singer doesn't drink.
So who else is it? Is the whole band on this cruise?
The whole current band is on the cruise. Also, Bruce Kulick showed up, and then he has his own band. And all of the old KISS songs that KISS currently does not play on their current lineup, Bruce Kulick, they played them. So all the songs that he helped write, his band plays them at different shows during the cruise.
All right.
And is there a performance at night? I'm just fascinated by all this because there's another cruise going out in a couple of months with a couple of different bands. I can't remember, but I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like a terrible idea.
They have 2 cruises coming up this year. They booked 2, one right after another, and they have a different lineup on each boat. So there's multiple bands on each cruise, and they're all amazing.
Would you do it again?
Yes, I would if I had the money.
Does Paul Stanley, since there's no location, does he just shout out a longitude and latitude thing like, hello, everybody at the 45th?
yeah, he does this. It's never different.
That's cool. That sounds like a very cool. That sounds like a cool little vacation to go on.
Yeah.
Well, and if you like those bands,
sure.
It's awesome.
But there's one, Miles. I think you just read it to me last week. I mean, it was 15 different like hair metal bands.
Pretty stacked. It's always it's the typical bands, but
it's like Skid Row, Great White.
You would like them all. You would have a good time.
I'm sure you would.
Let's face it, 75% of them are 18 years old, and there's this one dude who's
right.
He's just like the anchor of the band, but he's still there. Foghat or whatever.
That's right. He talks about
actually Foghat's one of the only bands that don't have an original member anymore. Or maybe it's Molly Hatchet. One of those two.
Might be Molly. Aren't they all dead?
I think so.
He was talking about iguana. Somebody here says, I had an iguana tamale while I was in Mexico. Hands down, the best tamale I've ever had.
Huh. I guess if you prepare the meat right.
Yeah, I mean, right. And you're talking about, because this one dude, he was an outdoors.
You can't put bones in cornmeal. You know what I mean? You got to pick all those up.
You hope.
Right.
I was going to say, I guess some of that food, like I've had beef tongue and I've had oxtail.
How was the beef tongue?
I thought it was good.
Really?
You just have to kind of mentally know what it's going to look like.
Because it just looks like a tongue. It looks like a tongue.
Yeah.
How about the oxtail?
That was super delicious.
What was
it a stew?
Does it taste like beef or what?
Man, it was years ago. But yeah, I was doing door-to-door sales. And this lady she was like, I've been cooking this oxtail all day. She was like, do you guys want some? We were like, sure.
And it was really good?
It was awesome. Like on a little bed of rice or whatever. I mean, it's a pretty traditional dish.
It is. I've just never tried it. And on my mother's side of the family, I know they hunkered down on some of that stuff, man. But as a kid, I'm like, nah.
Some of those weird stews where you can make with wild game typically work pretty well. Like you can do the same recipe with essentially rabbits, rattlesnake, and turtles. So
have you had turtle?
I have. Because it was a woman. Tailgate. She used to, before we played Maryland,
she'd have turtle soup?
She'd have turtle soup.
Nice.
It was good? Well, it's in the fall. You know what I mean? It worked out fine. Just get a little cup of soup. It was just more, ha ha, hee hee. But she was the one who would make all the crazy, like the rabbit soups and all the same. It's carrots. It's
stew.
It's celery. It's
just change out
onions.
the meat.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I don't know. I always get suspicious when you put something in stew. Because to me, stew is always, it's like the manager special at a restaurant. Basically, we want to get rid of this. Well, it's not quite bad yet. Right. So throw it in stew, right?
But it's still good.
It's also the easiest way just for those different types of meat.
Sure.
Like somebody sent me some moose, but the roast was pretty gamey. So I had to put it in vinegar overnight, like balsamic vinegar to kind of draw it out.
All right.
The gaminess. And then slow cooked it with like a roast.
How was it?
It was pretty good, but you could definitely tell that was wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
How How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK. Never had moose.
Hello, Jessica. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, liquor and whores.
Hola!
So I have a very embarrassing story that I've never told anyone.
Awesome. Well, good news. No one's listening.
I'm letting the demons out here. So a couple of years ago, I wanted to do something brave for my birthday. So I went to Iceland by myself. And I was having a great time hanging out with this guy. The third day I was there, I decided to be brave and I ate some fermented shark.
Hanging out with some guy, huh? Was he Icelandic?
Yeah.
Was he happy? Was he happy to be with someone who wasn't technically a blood relative?
Oh,
He seemed to be very happy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Is it so good not to have sex with cousin?
I ate some fermented shark, and he and I decided to take some MDMA.
All right.
Sure, you know, I'm on vacation. Why not? So we take that, and several hours into some fun times, my stomach started gurgling, and it hit me, and I embarrassingly,
slipped on one.
Yeah.
While tripping?
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Wait, were you in bed with this dude when you slipped on this?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Call that one the American mudslide, brother.
He was very nice. I ran off and cleaned myself up, and then that was kind of ended things for the night, which is really unfortunate because he was a lot of fun. But I was just mortified, and he wanted to hang out the next day, and I couldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, you have broken the ice in a way.
Wow.
A lot of people won't even fart in front of their significant other. They've been together for 7 years. I mean, you just straight up
ridiculous.
defecated, man. And he was still cool. Like, that's a guy you want to see again. Like, baby, I know you brown spotted me, but it's okay.
So did you just meet this guy while you were there? Did you run into him, or was this a prearranged thing?
No, I went out to this Irish pub in Keflavik, Iceland, and it was the strangest place, and that's where I ran into him.
Okay. So I just go to a regular restaurant in Iceland. What types of dishes, other than the fermented shark, are typical?
I mean, they pretty much have everything. I even tried an Icelandic Domino's. It was pretty good. They just put cream cheese as a base for all their pizzas, which was kind of strange, but
everything's white.
It's
Iceland.
Lots of greens, lots of fish, seafood in general.
How was the fermented shark, other than the fact that you pooped yourself? How did the fermented shark taste?
It was like a really fishy kimchi. And I like kimchi. I love kimchi, but I don't know. It didn't agree with me, so I definitely won't be ordering it.
I could say this. I was watching Running Wild with Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
They were in Iceland. I forget who he was with, but they ate fermented shark. And Bear Grylls eats a lot of strange stuff. And he was like...
Yeah, he does.
He was like, even for him, he was like, this is absolutely disgusting.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
This is a dude that will eat like an ostrich turd because it's survival. But he says on orders a meal like, this is crap.
Yeah.
That's a bad...
He just had like a little hunk of it that he had in his bag, and he's like, here, let's try it. I forget who he was with, but they didn't like it, and then, he actually ate some and was like, this is gross.
How is it served? Is it hot? What does it look like on your plate?
Cold.
This looked smoked, and it had the texture of smoked, so I don't know if it's just, cured in the open air or how they do it.
What is the feeling like of knowing you pooped yourself when you're tripping?
It wasn't bad.
we just like, oh, that felt so good.
Nothing is bad when you're tripping, everything's great.
So you just jumped up and went, oops, I pooped.
Did it kill the trip, or did you stay tripping even after you pooped yourself?
Oh, I stayed tripping. It kind of changed the vibe.
Yeah, it did.
And I know it was all me. It was weird.
Changed the vibe.
Changed the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything was good until I pooped myself.
That's awesome.
Things got weird.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Sure.
Everyone should go to Cupcake Royale and try our cupcakes because they're amazing.
We have.
Yeah,
they're awesome. They're very good. Give us the chocolate frosted
I run
one.
the bakery there, so I'm pimping them out a little bit.
You don't share that story with your fellow bakers?
Yeah.
No, and I'm hoping that no one is listening to this.
Why don't
you are definitely going to find out.
Why don't you do like a chocolate frosted special like once a year, just to go back in time a little bit?
The Iceland special.
Call it Jessica's Icelandic surprise.
Yeah. Just put a little shark fin and chocolate icing.
And then some sprinkles to recreate the trip.
Two girls, one cupcake.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God. Man, oh, man.
Only one person understands.
Well, I can see why you didn't share that story with lots of people.
That's awesome, though.
I was tripping in Iceland, getting down.
So I met this
dude.
girl from America in an Irish pub.
You know he's sharing that story.
That's the beginning of it.
He tells everybody.
What happened to the chick, man, that you were seeing?
Probably
I thought
still-
she got along. And he's
probably
like, dude, everything was great. She pooped herself, and I never saw her again.
It could have been the love of your life.
Right.
And through one little thing that just happened to go wrong, and it's a complete accident.
And he was cool.
Yeah. He was still fine with it.
Yeah, like, don't worry about it, man.
Call me anytime. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I got a story about 8 years ago. So I'm down at Fort Carson in the Army. So for eating food, so I know you guys know how it works when you're out training. They cook the food, and then they kind of ship it all out to where all the units are. And there's usually about a time limit on it. So we got this food, it's Army cooked it, so you know it's going to be bad. So it was orange chicken. So they cooked the orange chicken. Everyone had it. It was pretty good. And then one by one, out of about 80 people out there, everyone starts having really bad diarrhea, like going all night long. So you have, so we're in like NBC or uniforms. So you got our normal uniforms. You've got the outer uniforms on. So every time you have to run off and go to the bathroom, like you're taking all these clothes off, and you're out in the woods. So you can't, like, there's no porta potties or nothing there. So it gets so bad, the next morning we're moving in a convoy, and like people call on the radio, we have to stop, and you see guys hopping out of vehicles, just running to the side of vehicles, and these grown men just holding on to their dear lives, and it's just diarrhea everywhere.
Yeah.
And this lasted 2 days. We had this going on. It was
Dude, from the orange chicken.
From the orange chicken.
Should call brown chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a dish that they serve years. I've been there for a while, and like I refused to eat that for about 2 years afterwards because of that.
Now, the military's pretty strict, obviously, and they should be. Now, if I'm the cook and I got all these dudes spraying out in the woods, does that cook get in trouble? Or is there any kind of discipline? Like, hey, man, you just poisoned a bunch of our guys.
So, well, we've got to figure out what happened. So, where they cook the food, they put in like these green bins, and there's a time limit on how until the food gets out there. But we were so far out, it took hours for them to get the food. So the food's just been sitting in these bins for hours and hours, and then that's what happened. So, I mean, some people went and yelled at them for it, but at the end of the day, I mean, we just had to suffer.
I can't stop pooping, goddamn it!
Yeah.
So I still have that image of some of my poor guys just hanging off the side of vehicles, just diarrhea everywhere.
Oh, so you're not even stopping the convoy. You're just rolling down the road pooping on it.
No, they stopped. No, we were heavy armored vehicles, so no, they stopped the convoy. But yeah, guys, just like it's bad. Just
okay. So what if you got orange chicken now? Obviously not military, but we go to I don't know Golden Temple Chinese restaurant, and I order orange chicken for everyone. Are you still going to eat it, or has that turned you off from it?
No, I'll still eat it.
All right,
but
okay.
Because honestly, doesn't really taste like orange chicken. It's like it's just disgusting.
Okay.
It's soft, mushy mess. Yeah. So real orange chicken, no, I'll eat that.
All right, let's assume this. Assume this. Okay,
you had orange chicken that didn't taste like orange chicken, make you sick.
Because we've had this debate in here before, and we want it to be a standing rule, but we're not sure. Okay, so unfortunately, you're engaged in combat. All right.
Right.
You see the enemy, but they are in fact with their pants down, and they're obviously going number 2. All right. You have a chance to take the enemy out. You do not do that when they're pooping, correct? Is there a gentleman's rule on this?
I don't know. Depends on how mad I am at that point.
Okay. See, I always thought, like, look, just let the guy poop.
Maybe scare him really bad.
Just shoot close
just
to
fire
him.
over his head or something, right?
Oh, God.
So it's just even, yeah.
But then you hurry him up. You know what I mean? Now he's not done. Now he's jumped up. He's got his pants. He doesn't have time to take care of the business.
Yeah, but then that at least, if I didn't kill him, that at least just embarrasses him deep to the core at that point.
All right.
If nothing else, take a picture of him.
I just feel like, there's certain instances where you should get a break.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I like where your head's at, but also it's a war zone.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's also just something that happens.
But even if the cops, you know what I mean? Like they knock down your front door and it's the SWAT team, and like if I'm in the bathroom pooping, like, fellas, I get it, I'm guilty, I know you're here to arrest me. Honest to God, man, can you just give me 2 minutes? I want to do this one last thing. By the way, Jessica, the one who went to Iceland, and did a poop while tripping. People appear like Jessica must be a smoke show and really good in bed if homeboy still wanted to hang after she pooped in the bed. Someone else.
That's what people say.
Jessica sounded hot. I wouldn't kick her out of bed for pooping. So there you go, Jessica. You're getting compliments. You must be so good looking because you pooped in bed and dudes still want to.
Not only that, but that's not a drug that I've ever done before. So not that I don't think I could control my bowels, but when you're also dealing with food poisoning, to be in that state of mind, that's what I was saying. Like, would that be easier, or would that be?
Of all the drugs I've done, I think. I think
would you be more bothered with what you've done, or would you just blow it off? In other words, would you really hyper focus on it, or could you just be like,
I don't know,
I just pooped on this girl?
I feel like on Molly, you're not going to concentrate too much. You'd get a response to something like, "My bad." You know what I mean? Like weed, you're going to focus on it. Coke, you're going to focus on it. But I feel like on Molly, you're just like, dude,
we all hug and stuff.
So sorry.
Most psychedelics do mess with people's stomachs.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
And your back sometimes. You get too much strychnine. That was one thing, too. Yeah.
I've always heard that. But
that's an acid trip.
Yeah. You also have to remember, typically, you haven't eaten for what seems to be like 8 or 9 hours.
Right.
You haven't hydrated right. You've unfortunately smoked more cigarettes than you should have. You just had beer for the most part. And you really drank a lot of beer. You don't realize,
a lot.
You don't realize how much,
Ted, question. Was Terry Crews in Iceland with Bear Grylls?
Yes, that's who it was.
Yeah, people are like, I'm pretty sure it was Terry Crews.
Yeah.
I don't picture Terry Crews going, ooh, I like fermented
I don't
shark.
picture Iceland letting in Terry Crews.
Yeah, I know.
Knowing what I know about that place.
Oh, yeah.
How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Before we got knee-deep into COVID there, I decided to do a new thing where I would order different things at these standard places that I go to eat. Mm-hmm. So I know for a fact, Ted, you're good for a pizza every couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
You would do things like order the specialty pizza. The Pagliacci would put pizza of the month or whatever the deal is.
Right. They get me all the time, man.
Yeah.
They do a good job, though, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I never would do that. I would just do pepperoni, do my sausage, be happy. Then right before COVID hit, I was like, you know what? From now on, I'm actually going to start ordering different stuff. And I really enjoyed it for a while. Look, it's not always going to be a win.
What were some of your biggest fails?
Some of the biggest fails. Okay.
That's a tough question because I'm with Miles. I definitely remember having some buyer's remorse.
Right,
but I can't remember exactly what I ordered from what restaurant.
A lot of times, it's not that the dish itself sucks. It's that you just wish you had stuck with your original. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not as good as the thing I normally get.
Anytime you get a half chicken or a baked chicken from a restaurant, which I never do, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Skin's crispy.
I never order them.
There's some, like, fingerling potatoes or mashed potatoes, whatever. Big fail. I guess depends on where you are. I would say never order a chicken gyro.
I agree.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I did it from that place, too, and It's not that it's not that it was bad, but I'm like, I should have just stuck with the lamb gyro.
Go to an Indian restaurant. Don't order the same curry dishes that I normally do. Just that kind of crap. If I were to go out and get Thai food, I would order a different dish. If I went to a pizza place, I'd order different toppings. If I went to a breakfast place, I would order different breakfast items that I normally eat.
With the exception of Indian food.
Okay.
Like Indian food, like, I figured out what I like, and I stick with that because I ventured out there and have been bitterly disappointed.
I'm with you. I get tandoori chicken and whatever the kind of the plainest stuff is, some naan bread, and stick with that.
Yeah, I've experimented a little bit, but I was like, I don't like this.
Also, and not to bash on chicken too much, grilled chicken sandwich.
It's fine.
Get the fried chicken sandwich.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah, that's all. It's not that it's bad. It's just
it's not bad. It's like white paint. It's fine.
I told you a couple weeks ago. I forget where I ordered it from, but I ordered a chicken parmesan sub.
Ooh,
but it sucked.
Really?
Yeah, because it was like you're saying, just like the chicken wasn't like fried. It was like baked or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, this is disappointing. But then when I was back on the East Coast by my brother's house, I got a delicious one at an Italian place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guaranteed it was deep fried.
According to a new report from DoorDash, 92% of people say they're at least somewhat adventurous and occasionally or often try new menu items. But 8% of us say they never try anything other than the tried and true, the standard, whatever they want. So they asked, what inspires people to sample something new? Typically, it's the fact that someone's got their fork in your plate and you're going, hey, what are you doing? I'm trying to try that. Well, you can ask first. 46% of people say they got bored of ordering the same old things. 44% like being introduced to different cuisines. And 40% said they like treating themselves to a more indulgent option occasionally. 35% say they'd pick something new if it had a good price or if there was a promotion. And 30% occasionally feel like ordering a healthier option.
I never feel that way, ever. But I will say, I don't realize that I'm not adventurous with my food. It's just, I'm like an old person who gets lost on the way home. Right? They get home. This is where they live, but it's all new to them until it comes back to them. So we're at Red Robin. This is the last time it happened. This has happened to me probably 7 times in multiple restaurants, kind of along the lines of Red Robin. They give you that big-ass menu. I read every page because everything looks good, and I go, ooh, I'm going to try the whatever burger, right? And I rattle it off to my wife because I'm all proud of my choices, and she's like, you order that every time we come here. I'm like,
what is it?
Are you sure? And she's like,
so what is it?
I don't remember, man, but I go through the menu.
Yeah, you will.
I don't. That's the problem. I go through and whatever all the crap is they put on there, I'm like,
is it a specialty one?
The Whiskey River Barbecue?
It might be that one.
That's a great burger,
but
man.
the thing is, I don't do it on purpose. That's the problem. I sit there, I read through this menu, it takes me 10 minutes, you know, like, give me one more minute, I'll take another beer, and I circle back. My wife's like, Jesus Christ, dude, you order the same thing every time. So I'm not trying to not to be adventurous, but apparently, however they describe it, that's the only thing that appeals to me.
I started exploring the Red Robin menu of burgers, man. I haven't hit one that I haven't liked yet.
Well, none of them are bad. You know they're not
Oh,
going
my
to be bad.
God.
Oh, yeah.
They got a brisket burger.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't tried that one.
Smothered barbecue brisket chips. Red Robin gourmet cheeseburger. The bonsai burger. Burnin' Love burger. Monster burger. They got a lot of good-looking burgers.
They do. But somehow I read through all of that and circle back. What is it? Whiskey River?
Whiskey River Barbecue.
Oh, yeah. It's got the little onion straws.
Explain to me what it says, because this is what gets me. It's in the description.
Barbecue sauce, crispy onion straws, cheddar, lettuce, tomato, and mayo.
Yeah, like, I'm in. And my wife's like, I know. Just say that when you get here.
Well, Mike and I used to, maybe like once a month, we'd try to go like out, like go to Red Robin or go get a burger. But we were going enough to Red Robin that it made it easier. We're like, oh, tonight I'm trying this one. Tonight I'm trying that one.
Yeah, they have tavern burgers, too, with 2 patties.
Then they got rid of my A1 peppercorn burger.
Kind of like the Dick's Deluxe.
Oh, that was a good one.
That made me mad. Bring it back, Red Robin.
That made me mad.
It did, man. That was literally my favorite burger, and it was just kind of on their regular menu. It wasn't like a specialty thing. It was just always there. Then all of a sudden, I show up one day, like, where's my A1 peppercorn burger?
I'm just pissed off that Zippy's is closing now. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
I just want a burger now.
I really just thinking the same thing. Like, I didn't get a hamburger.
It's like the last commercial break. Miles and I were talking about our burgers. Then we just went down the whole damn menu at Red Robin.
I'm already thinking I got to text the wife, like, look, tonight for dinner.
Let's just get a hamburger. You wanted one last night and got.
I wanted the goddamn cheeseburger last night. There's one left. I understand there's little kids there, and I was going to grab it anyway. And I was kind of hoping my wife would not notice because I knew, I knew what she was going to say. And she was like, "Steven," I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Man, those are for the kids." I'm going to go, "I understand." All of the rest were already eating. There was just one little girl, and I said, "That's great. I really want that cheeseburger, man. The cheese was melted perfectly, decent sized burger." And it ends up going to the girl. Like, fine, I'll be the adult since I'm an adult and the child is a child. And she ate about half of it. And then she's like playing with it. And in the end, she just stuck a fork in it and left. I'm like, I would have eaten that burger. That was my point.
That's what Fremont, that's one thing they're missing. Fremont's missing a hamburger place. Like a place where you like a destination hamburger place where you're like, this is awesome. They have everything else. They really do. A lot of great food. Just no hamburger there. How does food figure in the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How you doing?
Doing great, John. Thank you, brother.
You ready for it?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Give it to us. Come on.
Hold on for one.
I took a trip to Amsterdam, right?
Okay.
But believe it or not, we stopped in Iceland on the way.
Yeah, back to Iceland.
Out of Iceland to Amsterdam. And maybe 20 minutes into the flight, the girl sitting next to me, she's an American girl. She's on her way to Amsterdam to party, right? And she pulls some candy out that her and her boyfriend had made at home, and she offers it to me. Hey, you want some candy? Sure, I'll take it. Why not? But, of course, it's like, I don't even know what it was.
Is it like chocolate? Was it fruit? What kind of candy?
It was like a little gummy purple heart.
Okay.
Like a gummy candy.
All right.
And I'm assuming it's going to be some kind of weed candy, right?
Okay.
But she told me she made it herself, and she's from Portland, so I figured...
Oh, no.
You're right. I'm right.
Yep. Oh, no.
So, I mean, I took it. Maybe 20, 30 minutes later, I started to feel it kick in, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to just watch the movie, check out. I'll see you at baggage claim kind of thing. And I start watching the movie, and maybe another 20 minutes go by, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just ralph it up. And I've got the face mask on and everything.
Oh, so it just hit you with the sweats and everything else. It just made you sick as hell?
Worse than that. It was like over and over and over. I probably went through 4 or 5 Ralpher bags on the jet. And then, once we get to the baggage claim, I just blacked out. The next thing I know, I've woken up on a park bench in Amsterdam.
Do you have your luggage?
Well, fortunately for me, I was with my buddies, so they kind of took care of me.
Yeah, they dropped you off at a bench in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Yes.
Great friends.
Yes.
Well, that sucks. That sucks.
So did you puke?
The woman's name was Jessica.
Yeah. Did you puke at all in the bathroom, or was all of your puke in the seat on the plane?
Well, it was in my face mask, so it was kind of like down my face, down my shirt kind of thing, until they were able to get me a Ralpher bag. And then when we got to Skipple, I ralphed in the trash bin at the baggage claim, and that's kind of the last I remember of it.
Yeah, maybe not take candy from strangers. You know, parents warned you for a reason.
The long and short of it, I told my dad that, and he said that was a mistake.
I think the fact that she was from Portland was the biggest mistake.
Yeah, just like,
You're going to party on vacation in Amsterdam, and you made your own gummies.
Right. You know nothing good's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure that's 10 milligrams. I'm pretty sure. Okay. All right.
And why are you bringing that with you?
Yeah, no, you're
going to Amsterdam.
How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, Miles, somebody here says, what about you need a burger in Fremont?
It's not bad. Actually, it's not bad. You know, the biggest thing with the You Need a Burger is that it's up the hill on Fremont Avenue, and I'm too lazy.
I understand.
I'm too lazy to walk that.
That's all you got to say.
That's all.
No,
That's
seriously.
all it is.
Those hills are steep right there, man.
I mean, hell, I'd drive to Market Time to get groceries.
Yeah.
I don't walk up there. I'm not stupid.
So what Miles is saying is Fremont needs a burger joint closer to the canal.
I need to just I need to be able to fall into the place. You see? And then fall home.
No, they got great burgers. I'm just not walking up the hill.
Pacific Inn's got great hamburgers.
I don't think I've ever had a burger there. I would say
they're very good.
Pacific End, man. When we first
the Doc has a good
moved
burger.
to Seattle.
Doc does have a good burger. I've had the burger.
We used to work with this guy named Ronnie. Ronnie called everybody baby. Baby, have you guys been to Pacific End? Oh, what is it, man? Well, it's a bar. But if you go there, you got to get the fish and chips.
Or the Reuben.
All right, so this guy's going on and on. I mean, for months, every day. Have you been there yet, baby? Baby, get the fish and chips. I've never heard anyone so excited about fish and chips. Fish and chips, just goddamn fish and chips. Finally go to Pac M. He's with us. Babe, come on, get the fish and chips. I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, man, I'll take the fish and chips. I don't think they're going to be bad. I just don't think they're exciting. These are the best goddamn fish and chips I've eaten in my life. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they make them
They're breaded and not battered. And battered fish and chips is great. Trust me, I love battered fish and chips. It's just they have a very unique batter.
They do. It's worth it.
I think it's the best.
Yeah.
Our fish sandwich is fantastic. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Edgar. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, there we go.
Doing great, buddy.
When we were, my wife and I first married, been married about a couple years, I had a little Honda motorcycle. We'd take it on trips up in the mountains every now and then. Maybe a little sexy time kind of thing. Put a blanket on the thing, go up in there, a loaf of bread, a glass of wine and thou kind of thing. But we would just we don't drink. So we stopped by McDonald's, pick up a couple of Big Macs, had a bottle of water. It was before bottled water. I don't know what we were drinking. This is back when they put the McDonald's hamburgers in styrofoam.
All right.
You remember the clamshells?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we get 2 Big Macs. They create 2 Big Macs, and they're in the clamshell, so I don't want them to just bounce around in there. and we can't hold on to them. We got to strap them to the motorcycle. So I get this great idea. I put both of them in one clamshell, kind of squish it shut. Now it can't go anywhere. They'll be just like that when I pull them out, maybe a little smush. Wrap it up in the blanket, strap it to the back fender, get up in the mountains, pull the blanket off, getting ready to hike up, lay down, maybe look at the clouds, have our burgers. And I open up this clamshell, and it looks like one big meatball.
Okay.
With pickles and onions just kind of like strewn through it. But you can't differentiate between the bread and the beef. Yeah, sure, it's all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles. But all you see is the pickles and this meatball. But it smells just like a Big Mac.
Because it's a Big Mac.
It is a Big Mac.
It still is. It was a Big Mac.
It just looks different.
So I tore it in half. She ate her half, and I ate my half. And my kids all know the story. Everybody laughs about it. It's just like, it was just a Big Mac meatball.
Well, your kids know the story except for the fact that you're going up there to have sexy time with a blanket.
Well, yeah, they don't know that part.
Right, exactly.
They'll piece it together. That's the only reason a guy agrees to go on a vacation. Like, I'm going to get laid out of this, right?
That's one of the best moves ever. If you're going to go hiking, pick up some fast food just to throw in your backpack. That way when you get to the top of the mountain and your destination, you've never seen more dirty looks shot my way than getting to the top of Mount Si. And I've got like an Arby's roast beef sandwich. And I'm sitting down, people looking like, oh, man, I should have got a Arby's roast beef sandwich.
I should have stopped.
I should have stopped and got that.
Look at that guy. What's he eating? A beef and cheddar?
He's got two. He's got two of them.
You ever pull that move on the plane?
I just pick it up and go like, all right, $500. Who wants this thing?
I haven't done it with a burger, but I have flown a crab cake across the country.
I did it with a Burger King breakfast once. And it's amazing. You're right. It's the same dirty looks, right? So you buy it, you're waiting to board, and I'm like, I'll wait to eat it on the plane. No big deal. Once I gave you the go-ahead, lower your tray. And I realized as I'm unwrapping, it's still kind of hot, man. So this smell is going to, it smells good.
It does.
And you're right. People, because what the plane's offering you is just hot garbage, right? The cheese tray with some stale-ass peanuts or something. Everyone is staring at you. And it's weird because nobody likes to be stared at when they're chewing.
Well, they're also, they're envious. It's an envious.
I know they're envious.
They act like they're annoyed.
They're mad at themselves.
Correct.
But it's like, you got to stop looking at me. And I did it once with a sausage croissant from somewhere, and I think that was even worse, man.
Five Guy burger. I took that on a plane.
Yeah.
I've seen Five Guys are around the country now, but I remember when I used to fly back from the East Coast, there was always people taking Five Guys on the plane.
Absolutely, man. That is a good ass burger.
Well, the thing is, when you unwrap it, the smell that comes out of that is it's 4 or 5. It's 4 or 5 rows,
and everybody's just goddamn ooh. Enjoy your cheese.
I think also once I might have flown like a medium Lido's pizza on the plane.
A whole medium pizza?
Yeah.
I was just put it up in the top?
Yeah. I was like, screw it. I'm just going to fly it back with me.
You walk on the plane with the whole pizza.
And you put it in the bag.
I think so, yeah.
That's cool. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up?
Hola.
Man, I am actually still just laughing about flying the crab cake across the country.
Well, I was at a restaurant in the airport at BWI.
Right.
I wasn't very hungry, as I think I had just eaten with like a family member or something. And I was like, I bet you though, this crab cake
will travel.
Well, because usually when I fly back, it's like I don't land till like 10 or 11 at night. So it's like nothing's open.
I think that's a good move, man.
That is brilliant. So my story, the setting is over in Idaho, working for a tree company. We get off work, we're staying in the trailer, and I go to the Safeway. I grab a new cucumber lime Gatorade off an end cap. So,
cucumber lime? I've never heard of that.
Cucumber lime.
Ew.
Oh, it's good, man.
If you say so, brother, I'm going to go ahead and not believe you.
Well, this one in particular tasted funny. So I crack it open, I take a sip, and I'm like, wow, that tastes like dirt, like earth. It tastes like earth. And I look over at my buddy, and I'm like, dude, try this and tell me this doesn't taste like dirt to you. And he takes a sip, and as he's got it to his mouth and he's tilting it back, I see what looks like the shape of an egg, and about the size of an egg, fuzzy, moldy, floating, whatever it is. And I'm like, oh my God, stop.
What do you think it was? Like a mole or a mouse?
Dude, he freaks out and he's like, he calls poison control. I'm like, they're not going to do anything for you. Like, I was like, I guarantee you that was probably most likely possibly a rodent that got in there and it has deteriorated and we just drank the remains of it.
God. Can you even drink Gatorade now, or does it all come crashing back?
Dude, I couldn't drink a cucumber lime one for a little bit, but every time I do one, it definitely it brings back those memories. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay.
They need to put that in a commercial. You know what? You never see that when they dump Gatorade on the coach. Oh, I think he was just hit by a rotted rodent.
It's not great for the brand.
Yeah.
Like, try this new Gatorade. It's got flavor of a rodent.
Somebody here says cucumber lime Gatorade is awesome. Honest to God, I'd never
remember when
heard of it.
Effin, the company, they did a cucumber vodka?
Yes.
That vodka was awesome.
I was probably on that for a year. As far as just, if I go to the store, I'd always get a bottle of that.
Do they still make it or no?
I'm sure they do. You know what? I don't see it as much in the bars.
Right. It was huge for a while.
But they were making a couple drinks with it. I'm not typically a mixed drink guy, especially with vodka, because I'm not really into martinis that much.
Yeah.
All right. But the cucumber vodka, I was like, this one, Sprite is fantastic.
That stuff was unreal. I went to a wedding once, the same thing. It was like hot out. It was the summertime. But yeah, I was drinking those, and by the second day, everybody in the wedding's like, we're going to drink more of those.
Yeah. How does food figure into the story? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Annie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, hola.
Hola.
So this is actually my mom's story. She grew up in California in Santa Ana, and so in the late 80s, she was borrowing my uncle's car, nice, like I think it was a BMW or a Mercedes. So she was borrowing it. She went out to lunch with some friends, and they went to get Persian food. And if you don't know Persian food, it's very strong, made with like a lot of herbs, and so
Sure.
It's a very strong food. And so a couple of days later, she starts getting this really weird smell in the car. She kind of brushed it off. She's like, I don't know, maybe I spilled something. And about 5 days later, the smell was just awful. They had to drive with like the windows down, and no one can stand being in the car. And they still couldn't figure out where the smell was coming from. And about a week later, my uncle was going through the car. Finally, someone popped open the trunk and found my mom's leftovers of Persian food just sitting in the trunk. And California weather, it's really hot. So it had just been boiling and just like getting moldy and just really gross. And, they finally found the smell, but that was probably the last time my mom was able to borrow my uncle's car.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, man.
I don't know if I've ever had Persian food or Iranian food. I don't think I have. I wouldn't even know what a staple is.
Other than pistachios. Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know either.
I would try it, though, because if you go heavy on spices,
saffron, if it's going that direction, you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah, I do like saffron.
Ryan Castle coming in. We'll sit and spin with 10 rock artists who go by their middle name. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information. Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
How does food figure into the story? And here come those emails from the men's room at KISW.com. Couple there from the question. Now, guys, this didn't happen to me, but back in 2015, I was in a planning committee of my high school 10-year reunion. My classmates and I did a great job securing the venue, the food, the music. Unfortunately, very soon after the event started, one of my planning classmates had a severe allergic reaction to the food at the venue. Person was outside, vomiting, entire face had swollen up like a balloon, had trouble breathing. Ambulance was called, and they were rushed to the hospital. The food culprit, sesame seeds.
Really? Ooh, all right.
My friend had no idea they were allergic and or developed it as an adult. I felt so bad they had helped plan the event, and within an hour, they were taken off in a stretcher. More importantly, glad they survived. Thanks for the daily laughs, guys. That from the lovely Elizabeth.
Damn.
You'd think you'd had a Big Mac.
The last thing I would think is the sesame seeds, right?
Which, by the way, and I love a Big Mac, it's maybe one of my favorite hamburgers of all time, universally speaking. The sesame seed bun is the most inferior hamburger bun there is. I'm just saying.
That's a good call.
I think it's unnecessary. I think
like
you
a
add the
pretzel
seeds,
better,
but yeah.
Brioche better.
Brioche is better.
Potato
sweet-
better.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of other versions. I feel like sesame seed was just the biggest one. But yet, if you have a barbecue sandwich, sesame seed bun shows up huge.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Like
it
pulled
does.
pork, pulled.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Guys, having moved from California a few years before, I missed an In-N-Out burger. Mind you, at the time, the first In-N-Out burger was in Redding, California. So one day I told my wife, pack a bag. We're going to In-N-Out. We drove 742 miles to the In-N-Out, stayed overnight, and had it for breakfast as well. That is what a burger is all about. Rock on, that from Juan. Here's the two camps, I think. If you grew up and you liked In-N-Out burger, you love it every bit as much as you do remembering it from growing up, and it's just as delicious as it is. It's the same with Dick's. So if you grew up in Seattle doing the Dick's thing, I mean, that's going to be an iconic thing for you to go, and that's the burger that you want to taste. A lot of people will go to In-N-Out and go, this was not what I thought it was going to be, not what it's cracked up to be, whatever. And I really do think it's
nothing can live up to the hype that surrounds that. My only thing is, I think they do a fine burger. It's not the greatest burger I've ever had, but how do you mess up French fries so bad? Like, they're consistently awful.
I always get them a little bit well done, so it doesn't taste as much like cardboard. And then I get them animal style, so they're covered in crap, so I don't really
you don't notice how bad they are.
Correct. I think that's the way to go there. Where, like, okay.
Because I like the texture, and I like the texture of French fries when I'm eating a burger. Like, to me, they go together as much as peanut butter and jelly, man. But you go to In-N-Out Burger, and I'm like, how can you make a burger that tastes like this? And the fries are so god-awful.
It would almost be like telling someone, like, oh, man, like, we got to get White Castle before we go home and go to bed. You never had White Castle? Oh, it's great. And then you get it, and the person would be like,
it's fine.
This is horrible, dude. Like, why did you bring me here? And this is the greatest thing ever. I love it. Why don't you like it?
What was the one on the East Coast? It wasn't White Castle. It was White
Crystals.
There's Crystals like in the South.
Tavern burgers.
But there was something that kind of basically mimicked White Castle. And I was unfamiliar with this tiny burger thing. And I remember the first time I went there, I got 3 cheeseburgers. I'm feeling good because I couldn't believe the low price. That dude handed them to me. I'm like, are you goddamn kidding me? I did not know they served little teeny tiny burgers.
Yeah, Miles is right, because there was a little tavern.
It was called Tavern Burgers in D.C.
Well, there was one, though, in College Park. So, I mean, when I was a kid, we had never seen a
little white building, little tiny house. Is that right?
No. They were, like, green.
I don't remember.
Okay. I'd have to look it up again. But I remember that was, like, a massive deal. And then eventually they all closed, and now it's a Subway.
Eat fresh, Ted. Eat fresh. A Subway completely revamping their menu now.
No. Refreshing, Miles.
They're revamping the menu.
Refreshing. They're refreshing the menu.
The meatball sub is no longer a meatball sub.
What is it?
They got a different name for it. It's like the Big Mario or something.
Oh, come on.
Are you serious?
Same sub.
So that's what they're doing.
They're doing different things. I think it's like...
I mean, then they ran into some issues, like between the bread or it wasn't a foot long or the tuna's not tuna. Right.
The bread's not bread. The tuna's not tuna.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Miles? You are right. It is a little house.
A little white house.
Yeah, it's got a green roof.
On to the birthdays. Guys, hi, everyone. Can you wish my husband, Casey, a happy belated birthday?
Oh.
I didn't forget his birthday, but I forgot to email you to take it to the next level. That from his adoring wife, Heather. Poor Casey turned 51 years old.
Oh, I'd have loved
July
to
2nd. July 2nd. We wouldn't have done it anyway. But
yeah, that was on a Saturday.
No one really cares now.
Yeah. It's over. He's 51, so what?
Oh, let's see here. Oh, Jordan, you got a lot of love here. You got a girlfriend writing in. It's sisters and lost relatives you didn't know you had. Today's my brother's 26th birthday. He's a huge fan. He wouldn't tell me what he wanted for his birthday and joked about wanting a birthday shout out here. So here you go. Jordan, today you're 26. It's time that you learn the difference between a DUI and an IUD. Love you, kiddo. That from your favorite sister, Emily, and girlfriend, Kimberly. Give me your penis. It's too small. Old Machola says this big blue and green sphere does its rotation around the fireball there. It's also time again to wish my stepdad Wilton, a.k.a. Brain Dead, a big happy birthday. He's 71 and still alive and surviving, as he has a habit of saying. Please give him a big old bong rip, a suck-it-up cupcake, and you guys talking all over yourselves about how to balance home responsibilities and riding his Harley. Thanks so much, guys. That from Carrie, the stepdaughter. By the way, he's single, ladies. 71 and swinging it. Get it.
So, suck it up, cupcake!
Here's what you need to do there, Brain Dead.
71 years old. Don't
trade that Harley Davidson in. Get yourself a brand new scooter like that. You get rid of that big ass bike. You're going to hurt yourself and your new girlfriend on the back. You want 35 and the wind in your hair. Too fast. You're going to die.
You think you saw his hair?
Yes. Ponytail.
Yeah.
He might have lost the front of the party game,
but he's keeping
the
back.
The back's hanging in there like a champion.
My buddy's dad was like that.
Really? No hair up front. We got the ponytail.
Oh, man, he wasn't going to let go of that ponytail.
Hairline starts behind the ear, but hell with it, man.
Still got long hair.
I'm keeping it. Howdy, y'all. I want to give a huge shout for Heather today as she aged another year. Give Heather a suck-it-up cupcake, a roof that don't leak, and Coach Ted on how it is to be in your early 40s. Love you, sister. Thanks, y'all. That from the Elk Plain Drifter, Amy Jean, and the Benson crew.
So, suck it up, cupcake!
She got a roof that
don't leak! All right, early 40s. Coach knows a little something about this. What I will tell you is he can still party and have a lot of fun. But what's going to hurt is the next day. Then you're going to be reminded that you're 40. Other than that, it ain't going to change.
And finally, from the birthdays, Ola Macholas, can you please wish my father John a very happy 75th birthday? Please thank him for having his party on a holiday weekend. So the hotel is more than double the normal price, and there's a 2-night minimum. I'm going to be over a frickin' grand. But I guess he's worth it. So can we please have the dirty Germans tell him what they're going to do to his old ass, and Miles give him an inspirational quote. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Love the happy hour. That from Brian in Boston.
Yeah, we're going to go biblical tonight. You will call me Moses, as I will treat your ass cheeks like the Red Sea.
Yes, yeah. We'll write a letter to the Corinthians. You don't want to know how the ink is used.
Yeah, real Corinthian leather. Cheerio.
Bless you.
Bless you.
What's going on here? Everybody have allergies today?
All right.
Is it all right?
Both of you guys get into a big bag of cocaine over the weekend? What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I've been stuffy for like 2 or 3 days. It's almost like once it stopped raining, somehow pollen showed back up.
It is dry out there. Okay, 75 years old. Pickup line. All right, John, here's a pickup line. You're 75 years old. Hey, baby. Do you have life alert? Because I've fallen for you. And I can't get up.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong with that?
Everything.
I think that line would work for him.
I bet it would.
But seriously, do you have life alert?
No, seriously, I need help.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, here we go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Yes, friends, it's time once again for Sit and Spin. Let's gather around the old radio and listen to some swellerific new music.
Well, there we go. It is a basement studio dungeon bar. Ryan Castle, how are you, sir?
Just bouncing back from a really exciting 3-day weekend. Yourselves?
Yeah. That thing went by pretty quick, though. I will say that.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. My brain feels like what I think people look like that are responsible for the reasons that I am not allowed to play with fireworks.
Now, did you
if that makes sense.
Are you able to see the fireworks from your home?
No, but I can certainly hear them. The unofficial Greenwood Firewood Show pops off.
I'm telling you, it's one of the best, the best in the city.
It really does. It really does. Boy, they got going last night at about 9 o'clock. And didn't shut it down until probably about 1 o'clock in the morning.
I was going to say,
around. The unofficial Greenwood fireworks show is probably one of the best ones in the city.
Well, ours starts at they started Saturday night. Mm-hmm. So Saturday night, I was in bed, and from about 11:30 maybe till 1 o'clock where I was blowing up down there. Then I come back, it's still blowing up here.
Yeah.
It never seemed to end wherever I was.
Yeah, they started at midnight Saturday in my neighborhood. And I realized it must be midnight. They're officially celebrating July 4th. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Somebody's sitting there with a countdown clock like, we're ready.
Oh, yeah, exactly. They started going off. I looked at my clock. It was 12:01. I'm like, goddamn.
I'm telling you, Capitol Hill, they were going off till like 2 a.m. last night.
And also, I had a guy last week at 4 o'clock in the morning, like last Tuesday, decided it was time to start lighting off fireworks at 4 a.m. I'm like,
at least wait until July 1st.
At least. It's the least you can do.
Right. That's the general rule. Just wait till July 1st.
My problem is I kept going back to sleep, and then it happened again, like doom, 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 doom. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, oh, that's right. That's right.
I knew a dude who blew off some fingers a couple of years ago, and right after it happened, I ran into him, and he was all bandaged up, and all I said to him was, you're the reason I can't buy fireworks.
Or sleep. How was that?
It's your fault.
Did you do any spectacular meat on your in your smoker?
I did. I did some ribs on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday was the good day. I did ribs on Saturday, and they turned out wonderfully. Thank you. Nice. I did a bacon mac and cheese too. That was awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah,
man, oh man.
And then
homemade.
I took a nap
in a pan, like in an oven. I mean, like, did you make
the bacon mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I can give you the recipe, Miles, but it starts with rendering the fat from 6 slices of bacon and building the roux from there. I mean, it is probably the most unhealthy thing I make.
That is awesome.
It will mess you up.
That is awesome.
It is so delicious, but it will make you dead. Right. That's the word I was looking for, dead.
Okay.
Dead.
Right.
So today on Sit and Spin, we're going to get into people's middle names. I don't know that I know any of your middle names.
Agamemnon.
You don't know
Of course. I did know that.
Ryan, do you have a middle name?
I sure do.
What is it?
Ryan?
So my middle name, I had an uncle who passed away long before I was born. His name was Billy, not William, not Will, not Bill. His name was actually Billy.
Are you
Miles? I'm sure you know some Billies from West Virginia.
I sure do.
My dad wanted to name me after my uncle Billy, and the compromise was that my middle name became William. So my mom won.
Okay,
all right. I'm glad your mom stepped in there.
That's
no.
Yes.
Not Billy.
That's not
Ryan Billy Castle. Boy, that kid's going to jail.
And Ted, you're a Tony, aren't you?
My actual middle name's Anthony.
Yeah. So you're Tony. Mike, what are you?
I'm a James.
You're James. All right, James.
Ted knew that.
I should have said you guys know.
You hate those Dolphins. You're Gregory.
I'm Gregory, yes.
Yeah. And I'm Miles. Yeah. Just like the list.
Well, there you go. So
Miles,
that's what the list is today. These are people that go by their middle names, not their first names. And when I tell you what their first names are, I think it'll make sense why. So it's not Brent. This is Zach Myers from Shinedown. Zachary being his middle name. Does anybody know what Zach's real first name is?
No.
It's Abner.
Abner.
Yeah.
Like he's in Doubleday?
He's Abner Zachary Myers,
What other
which
Abners
sounds
are there?
like he should be on money somewhere.
Yes. You sound like a dead president.
Well, I think he's making some money more than likely.
Yeah.
Abner Zachary Myers.
Okay.
That's absolutely true.
10 rock artists who go by their middle name on Sit and Spin.
Number 9.
One of my favorite bands, Mastodon. This is Brent from Mastodon. His real first name is Tanner.
Tanner
and you
Hines?
would go by Brent, too, because everyone knows that Tanner gets beat up on the playground all the time.
Tanner Hines sounds like a porn star.
It does. Tanner Hines.
Oh, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is also absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. That'll be my porn name if I were going to. Tanner Hines.
Oh, Tanner. You know what I mean. That's right. 10 rock artists who go by their middle names on Sit and Spin.
Number 8. You don't need no education.
So the musician in question here from Pink Floyd is Roger Waters. Does anybody know Roger Waters' first name?
Muddy.
It's a good guess.
It was already taken.
You guys ever seen the
something
movie
like Isaac
Animal
or
House?
Ian or something like that.
Yeah, so this is where they got the scene for the movie Animal House. Roger Waters' real first name is Pinto.
Pinto? Huh. His parents named him Pinto?
It's Pinto Roger Waters. That's totally true.
I wonder where he was conceived.
Does that mean horse?
Yeah, it's a horse.
Yeah.
And a really bad car.
Yeah. That's a lot to
Pinto.
That's a lot to live up to
Why not?
downstairs. Sure is. 10 rock artists who go by their middle name on Sit and Spin.
Number 7. Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Yeah, so this is Sir Paul McCartney.
First name
does
Sir.
anybody know
Sir,
Paul McCartney's real first name is Sir? Is very close, yeah. Actually, his real first name was Ringo. And they couldn't have two Ringos in the band. So he and Ringo Starr settled it like men with an old-fashioned Dominican stick fight, and Ringo won.
Dominican stick fight?
Yeah. So he decided to go by his middle name, Paul. Also a true story.
Wait, his real first name is Ringo.
Yeah.
What are the goddamn odds that one band has two cats named Ringo?
There's no way. It's James.
Miles
goddamn
is fact
James.
checking you right now.
It's James. All right.
Ringo.
The two Ringos.
That's totally true.
Jamaican stick fight. Yeah, that's
No, Dominican stick fight.
Dominican. My bad.
An old-fashioned Dominican stick fight.
Mama Jawala.
They settled it like men.
These are 10 rock artists who go by their middle names on Sit and Spin.
Number 6.
Is it James Labrie from the band Dream Theater? So if you're one of the 4 Dream Theater fans listening to the radio station...
Oh, come on. Been a following there for a minute.
You know that his real first name is just a mathematic equation. And if you've ever listened to Dream Theater, you know that's true.
Last name meaning the cheese.
the soft cheese.
The soft cheese. What is his first name? The soft cheese one.
It's just a mathematic equation. It starts with an X. I don't know how it works.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. All of
like
these
Ringo.
are very true.
Okay.
These are totally true.
I don't believe any of this. Okay. These are our 10 rock artists who go by their middle names on Sit and Spin.
Number 5. I wanna rock.
D is actually D. Snyder's middle name.
His first name is
his real middle name.
My geologist teacher used to come into class with this playing every day. This was his intro song.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They called that class Rocks for Jocks.
They did. You are not far off.
D. Snyder's real first name, Erica.
What?
Yeah.
Erica Snyder?
Who would make that up? Erica D. Snyder. You would go by D2, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Daniel.
Erica.
Okay. These are 10 rock artists who go by their middle names on Sit and Spin.
Number 4.
Hot dogs. Hot dogs.
Fred Durst's real first name, the number's 9/11. But it was before 9/11 when it was still cool to name your kids 9/11.
Yeah. Are they coming to town? Are they coming to town anytime? Is that are we on part of their
Biscuit?
Their tour? Yeah.
I don't know. You should call the concert hotline and find out.
Do we have a concert hotline? That would be so great.
I know
1994.
Yeah, it's brought to you by like Stereo World.
They were on the West Coast, but they might already missed us.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, apparently the show's interesting. That's what I hear.
I bet it is.
Interesting. I don't know what that means.
I mean, so is a vertical dog turd, you know? But it's not.
Well, I read an article about a guy who went to the show who didn't know who Limp Bizkit was.
All right.
He'd heard of them before, and he just wanted to go and be objective.
So what was his take when he left?
Tons of chicks there.
Oh,
Said he had a great time.
And that's why Miles wants to go.
He got hammered, and there were a lot of women.
all right.
These are 10 rock artists who got their go by their middle name on Sit and Spin.
Number 3.
The musician from the Foo Fighters is Taylor Hawkins.
Oh, there's a pick-me-up.
But his real first name is actually Taylor as well, but he made the list because he goes by the second Taylor. He's Taylor Hawkins, or Tay-Tay if you will.
Tay-Tay. Jesus. Oh, my God.
Okay. These are 10 rock artists who go by their middle name.
Number 2.
Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, or Randall Blythe from Lamb of God. Randall being his middle name. His first name is Orville, like the popcorn.
Oh my God,
Orville Randall Blythe.
Yep, totally true.
I do not believe it.
I don't believe it. I'm done believing it.
I'm not even sure what's going on in this segment today.
I'm not sure anybody knows what's going on today. These are 10 rock artists who go by their middle name.
Number 1.
Happy 4th of July.
Bruce Dickinson's actual real first name is the F word.
It's Captain, isn't it? Yeah.
That's all I got today.
Thank you, Ryan Castle. That was fun. Coming up, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. You are listening to Men's Room.
Nobody likes keeping track of a wallet full of credit cards with complicated rewards categories. And BECU members like Heather don't have to.
With this card, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I just use it and pay it. It's pretty simple.
Keep things simple with the Cashback Visa from BECU. No more confusing categories, no more blackout dates. Just 1.5% cash back on every purchase. BECU. Power in people. Member compensated for participation. Cash advances and cash-like transactions do not qualify as purchases. Contact BECU at 800-233-2328 for current product and rate information.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes. We'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way 1 hour from now. Or at 5:50, either way.
Yeah.
However we timed it out.
Come on now.
In the meantime, quick check on some of the news that Mike's not working on.
We've officially found the best tasting ketchup. Brooklyn Deli Curry Ketchup came in first in a blind taste test.
I'm not a big curry ketchup fan. I don't hate it, but it's just...
Man, Uli's had one that I was a big fan of.
I think it's a big thing in England.
Gotcha.
Fish and chip wise.
I'm sold.
The idea of Indian food, curry ketchup is pretty strong.
Michigan State University is offering an Adulting 101 course that includes lectures about getting organized, renting, and home food preservation. Which, you know what?
I mean, that's fine. It's like teaching home ec.
Right.
You know.
Is what it should be. And you know what? The other generations could look at the next generation and say, well, how do you not know this? Like, well, because you didn't teach me that.
Right.
So as stupid as it looks to have an Adulting 101 class, like, okay, you don't like the name of it, but still, now they're learning the things that you say they should know.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
There's something wrong with it. I'm just with you. That name just...
It does.
I just hate the term adulting.
Because it sounds like you're not ready to be an adult yet.
How about accounting?
Right, there you go.
Let's do that. Let's learn
Tax
that.
time.
Let's learn that.
A man in Tennessee was arrested for driving a stolen car, but the big news is that he's got a Ricky Bobby face tattoo.
Should be easy to find him.
Yes.
He's the guy with the Ricky Bobby face tattoo.
That's what we call an identifier. A man is in hot water with his wife after he turned down an offer from Delta to take a later flight to Alaska in exchange for $10,000.
I don't blame this guy because they were either getting on a cruise or they had an itinerary there.
Right. Okay.
So if they didn't make it, they would have gotten $10,000, but they might have, the whole vacation might have just been flushed.
Exactly.
In Alaska, for most people, is not as easy to get there as it is for us to jump on a 3.5 hour flight. So typically people come in, there's a cruise
from Seattle.
There's a cruise involved.
I'm taking $10,000.
You gotta remember.
She also sees $10,000 that just went down the toilet.
We are unfortunately, remember, if you're in San Diego, Cabo's 2 hours.
Right.
So like, we're as close as you can be to there. So like, it might seem easy to us, but for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. That is a good point. Because I'm like, what are you talking? But you're right. When we lived on the East Coast, the idea of going to Alaska was the same as like going to the moon. You know, it's a pipe dream.
Or Hawaii.
Right.
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Ooh, you must have got married.
It's still,
I think, yeah, Hawaii's still kind of crazy, but even when I was like in England, like there's one chef at the restaurant, he had on an Alaska, like seafood hat, and I was like, "Are you from Alaska?" And he's like, "No." He's just like, everybody knows about Alaska.
It is. Right. It's such an obscure point to go to.
Right.
Yeah. Seriously, man, we lived on the East Coast. I remember this woman we worked with. We're in radio. I can't remember her name now. One of the traffic ladies, older. She was going to Hawaii. You would think Bezos selected her to go up and stay. I mean, seriously, she talked about it for a month. She went to Alaska.
Well, that's a 10-hour flight, man.
It's also a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
It really, really
for
is,
most
man.
people.
You bet.
know?
A new poll found the most passive-aggressive people in our lives are our coworkers with 20% of the vote.
That makes sense because they can't directly tell you, HR gets involved.
So what's our mom's excuse in a close second at 18%?
Because moms try to guilt you and everything.
Ah, that's fair.
Oh, think about it like this. You know what? I'm married. You're about to be. And even though you're not, you've heard this before. Oh, is that what you're going to wear?
Yes.
Right? That's the only question. And you go, well, obviously that was my intent. Hence, that is why I'm wearing it. But instead of just saying, I don't like the way you look and I'll be embarrassed to be with you.
I got better about that. I've gotten better about that with my kids, but right. Put some clothes on. We're going to dinner, dude.
Have you had the one where you come downstairs and you go into kind of the grand collection area where everybody's supposed to kind of get ready and you say, all right, you're ready to go to wherever, and then your mom looks at you and said, yeah, are you going to get dressed?
Yes.
Yes.
My San Diego daughter basically wore a sports bra last time we went to dinner. I was like, is that? She's like, oh, you don't wear those up here? I'm like, no, honey, it hasn't gotten above 60 degrees. You don't live, we're not going out for freaking fish tacos.
I'm going to the beach, man.
Was it a bralette?
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I was just like, oh no, don't make me be that. Don't put that on me, man.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Help me out.
That's the only thing I care about. My daughter, we were going July 4th yesterday, going over to her buddy's house for July 4th. My daughter was wearing whatever she's wearing. And that's when my wife looks at her and says, why do you have to have two different patterns on? All right, so I'm out of eyesight.
Oh, but she's in that world, though.
And I looked at my wife, and I'm just doing basically the hand gesture for don't worry about it. So
you wear striped pants with a paisley shirt. Who cares?
Goddamn right. And I told her, I said, look, man, just let her be her. And I know it drives my wife crazy, but I'm like, listen, man, I went through this with my mother. You're just going to build resentment about something that doesn't matter. And she's 12.
Yeah, my mom was big on clothes matching as well. So.
Yeah, don't deflate that balloon. You know what I mean?
My mother always wanted me to wear collared
bralette.
shirts. And I would never wear a collared shirt. I refused. I'm like, I hate polos and all that. It just wasn't my thing.
I don't think I even wore jeans till I was 12.
Really?
I tried to wear sweatpants much as I could.
So they also found the most annoying...
And now you do it again, right?
I'm reversing that. I'm back to that.
Yeah.
So they also did procure us a list. That's why our people at Prepley gave us this.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
The most annoying passive-aggressive phrases, like, maybe you should try doing it this way instead. I think you'll find that this way is a better way. Don't you agree? No, I don't.
Sadly, that's actually how he is. That is a very clear reflection of VD right there.
Oh, Lordy. So number 10 being, I'm fine. Especially when you're obviously not fine. The furrowed brow tells me that your words speak otherwise.
That's a relationship word.
Yeah.
And 50% use it, 50% do not.
I take that to mean we will get past it. Let me just fume this out.
That's as sexist as I get.
Or
fine is not a guy thing.
I will talk to you later.
Exactly. Just no, guys. Fine, leave. Get out of there as quickly as you can.
Most annoying passive-aggressive phrase is number 9. That was surprisingly good. Like if you just
love that.
All right. Like if you just tried someone's cooking because it suggests they're cooking, that isn't usually good.
That is a backslap. That is awesome, though.
It is.
I cannot believe like that. I never thought you had that in you.
This is actually really good.
I thought you were terrible at everything, and now you make a really good chili. Who knew?
I'm amazed.
Maybe you should open up a chili place and not work here.
Oh, no. Number 8, why don't you just blank when the blank is something obvious but not easy?
Right. Everybody says that.
Right. Why don't you
just move out?
To suck it.
Right. I have 2 kids.
Or when
yeah. Why don't you just leave? Because I live here.
It's kind of the equivalent of calling, tech support. They said, have you tried unplugging? Or, is your TV plugged in?
No, they have to ask because as insulting as it is to normal people, probably 10% of people are like, oh, yep, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Most annoying passive-aggressive phrases. Number 7, I was just kidding. No, you weren't. You said a douchebag thing.
Right. That's a rough one.
Right.
Yeah. And generally when people are saying that, it's like, you weren't kidding. That was mean.
And I know you weren't kidding. That's why I'm angry.
Or you missed the joke, but it was not a good joke.
Right.
It's not a good joke to say.
It was not a good joke. You were not ready for that one.
I don't mind anybody going out over their skis. It happens, man. We all jump over there from time to time. But don't don't now insult my intelligence as well as my feelings.
But sometimes when people say that, you're like, I know it was a joke. I'm pissed.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I know you were joking. What I'm saying is I'm angry.
Number 6, you should have known that, or you should have just known better. Yeah.
I would not. That's not part of my repertoire.
Thanks for telling me what I should have done.
I was just thinking to myself,
in hindsight,
what a dummy.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to say it out loud, but Jesus Christ.
That guy's out of nowhere.
That's a dummy.
Fast.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Miles, for number 5, ask me if I want steak for dinner.
Would you like steak for dinner tonight?
Sure, if that's what you want to do.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I know.
That's a trap.
Do you want to go to Red Robin tonight?
Number 4, whatever.
Do you want to go to Red Robin?
Whatever.
Is that what you want to do?
Whatever.
Whatever. Fine.
Whatever. No, it's not whatever, because you have a problem.
Well, you brought it up.
Anything.
You brought it up.
But then it comes back to you. Right? Like, let's just go somewhere else. Oh, I told you it was fine.
Okay.
Like, yeah, but you're setting me up.
Look, I
know there's a hitman in the house, so I don't want to go into the house. This is basically what this is. Like, you are setting a trap.
Steve, I don't care what we get. Do you just want to get pizza?
Sure.
I don't want pizza. I had it for lunch.
I don't. Just like, why'd you bring it up?
I just thought of something.
Why do you tell me everything you don't want?
How about tacos?
Just tell me what
about when you have that conversation at like 7 or 8 in the morning? Then you've been at work all day and you mess up. You say, hey, do you want to get a pizza? And they're like, you said we're having sushi.
Right. I just had a right turn.
Change plans.
I had a Red Robin turn in the afternoon, and I just kind of changed my brain a little bit. Now I'm kind of craving a hamburger. Yeah. So I have to go through this whole day of just thinking, I will have nothing but this that I thought
this is going to be my trouble tonight, because we were talking about hamburgers. I know I want hamburgers.
Yeah.
That might not fly. Get it, but if not,
do you want pizza?
We got that place downstairs. I'll get one tomorrow.
Most annoying passive-aggressive phrases. Number 3, Ted, no offense.
Right.
But I just don't think you get the jokes.
If you have to preface with no offense, you're about to be offended.
You're about to offend somebody. And just because, yes, you do mean to offend. That's why you're saying no offense.
I don't know. I don't know if you mean
I don't think
to
you're
offend.
purposely trying to offend.
I think it's more
but you know you're going to offend someone.
There's no way I have to get this off my chest, and there's no way to say this to you without you being offended.
Right.
So basically what you're doing, that's
I don't mean
warning
to crush you.
Right. I don't mean to crush your soul to make you cry, but here's a box of Kleenex.
Number 2, Thrill, why are you so upset?
Oh, my God. Because I goddamn am.
Right. Yeah. I might be angry more so than upset.
Right.
But don't ask me why, because this is my response to whatever it is.
It wasn't upsetting. It wasn't good news.
Yeah.
So I'm upset. I'm a human being.
Exactly. This sucks. I don't like this. But this is without a doubt the number 1 most passive-aggressive phrase that we could use.
You look good for you.
Miles, you're too sensitive.
Oh, my God.
Oh. That one drives you up a wall.
Can I show you my sensitive area?
I feel like those last 3 all kind of correlate.
Can you rub it?
No offense. Why are you so upset? You're too sensitive. My goodness gracious, gang. A man in Florida attacked an officer with a projectile, but you will never guess what his choice of weapon was.
What was the projectile?
I'll test your memory at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant online for Profile This at 206-421-ROCK.
The idea of owning a home felt like a pipe dream.
That's BECU member Leandra talking about her home buying experience.
So we went to BECU where I met our mortgage advisor, Lauren, and she was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how you buy a home.
As a not-for-profit credit union, BECU helps members find the right home loan to meet their needs. Learn more at becu.org/home loans. BECU, power in people. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS ID 490518. Members were compensated for participation.
The idea of owning a home felt like a pipe dream.
That's BECU member Leandra talking about her home buying experience.
So we went to BECU where I met our mortgage advisor, Lauren, and she was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how you buy a home.
As a not-for-profit credit union, BECU helps members find the right home loan to meet their needs. Learn more at becu.org/home loans. BECU, power in people. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS ID 490518. Members were compensated for participation.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
All right, we've made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Next time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast an anonymous couple in Michigan. Late last month, the couple went to an unnamed store. I'm going to guess Home Depot, but I don't know. They grabbed 3 air conditioning units and 1 Reese's peanut butter cup, all right? That's the only reason I'm guessing Home Depot. Where else can you get candy in air conditioning units? Anyway, they put the air conditioning units in the cart, wheeled them over to the self-checkout. They scanned the peanut butter cup, paid for it, and then left with the 3 air conditioning units that they paid for. Now, they loaded their haul into the vehicle and they drove off. And they may have gotten away with it, but they left behind a few key pieces of evidence. First, there was a crack pipe. Oh, say to yourself, you know what? You might be able to run DNA, because chances are if you're smoking crack and you're so dumb you leave it behind, you might be in the database. But that wasn't the thing. The woman in the group left behind her purse. Ooh, now this is really bad. We got the crack pipe, we got the purse. But in the end, the dude, he left his ID behind at the self-checkout. They were arrested in short order. Just one of those things. The cops even said, basically, we gave them time to get home.
They are bad criminals.
They're really, really bad. But I like the idea. Go to self-checkout, scan the candy bar, and walk out with 3 air conditioning units.
Yeah, nobody will notice that.
I don't know about you, man. Every time I go to self-checkout, they watch you like a hawk.
I actually did it a few weeks ago. They came by to check my buddy's ID.
Right.
And I said, as long as we're checking out, put these up there. And then I walked out of the store. With like a 12-pack of beer I didn't pay for.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well done, sir. Well done. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The men's room presents Profile This.
And Steve at Thrill Hill, could you please, everyone? Now, Profile This is played.
You bet your ass I can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Guess who it is, Ted?
James?
James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, James, you understand how this here game is played?
I know how it's played.
Okay, fantastic. You have your choice of one of 3 stories, The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me, in other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Bite Me.
Just eat it.
Get yourself an egg and beat it. All right, James, here's your story. And as I often say with Bite Me, I research stories for Bite Me. I've discovered that a lot of the same items contaminate various foods. Condoms, roaches, Band-Aids, and again, a shockingly high number of severed fingers. But today, I want you to tell me which of the following did not have a human tooth in it. So we're looking for the one product you believe did not have a human tooth. A hamburger, a bowl of gumbo, a chicken tender, or French fries. So hamburger, gumbo, chicken tender, or French fries. A human tooth did not show up in one of these. Or more disturbingly, a human tooth showed up in 3 out of 4 of these.
Chicken tender, what was the 4th one?
Hang on.
French fries.
French fries.
Yes. Hamburger, gumbo, chicken tender, or French fries.
I'm thinking chicken tender.
You know what? I have absolutely nothing to base this on, but I'm feeling chicken tender too.
The fact that human... how do you not know you lost your tooth, man?
You know what there, James? I'm going to go French fries. I think that's the right way. Final answer on the chicken tender, guys?
Chicken tender.
All right, we're going to find out what did not have a human tooth in it. Hamburger, gumbo, chicken tender, or French fries next.
That was a tease. The idea of owning a home felt like a pipe dream.
That's BECU member Leandra talking about her home buying experience.
So we went to BECU where I met our mortgage advisor, Lauren, and she was like, this is what we're going to do. This is how you buy a home.
As a not-for-profit credit union, BECU helps members find the right home loan to meet their needs. Learn more at becu.org/home loans. BECU, power in people. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS ID 490518. Members were compensated for participation.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories by me on profile this. Lots of different things are found in food. Some more so than others. As far as like Band-Aids and all kinds of toenails and everything else. Oh, yeah. In this case, it's a tooth. So, which item of food did not have a human tooth involved in it? Hamburger, gumbo, chicken tenders, or French fries?
James, that is the very question that we asked you. A question as old as man. Let us begin with Miles Montgomery. You said French fries. French fries, you would not find French fries. However,
they seem to be kind of pre-made or frozen or fresh.
McDonald's has apologized after a human tooth was found in a portion of fries in Japan last year. The customer complained after making the discovery at the Osaka outlet in August. McDonald's said an independent probe has found that it was a human tooth. In other words, they looked at it.
Okay.
We continue. A woman in Philadelphia, one Alexandra Aponte, well, she was upset when she discovered a human tooth in her hamburger.
In the burger.
This burger, she was at the hospital. Uh-oh. She went to the burger cafeteria, or went to the restaurant or hospital cafeteria. There was a human tooth in her burger. And finally, a Licking County man says he was very disgusted finding the garnishment that came with his fast food order. The customer told the local news outlet there that he found a human tooth, or at least part of a crown, in his food. According to the complaint, the object was sitting on his order of chicken tenders.
Oh, gumbo.
Oops. It was, in fact, gumbo. That's the only place a human tooth so far has not been found in their food. Killed that at the right time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow TV news all the time. Time for TV time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
That was an aggressive one.
I dumped it. We're good.
Yeah, we'll remove it. It did not get far enough.
No, it
didn't. Get it out.
Don't worry, it was pre-produced specifically for the show.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, I can't believe that's even still in the system.
I forgot that it existed. Like, oh, God, do not play that.
Okay, then. Good thing we're moving over to this.
Yes.
Really happy hour.
Obviously, the big talk from the weekend, there was baseball on.
Sure.
You had some MLS soccer, but the biggest deal, frankly, is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
I thought you were going to say the USFL Championship, which I watch.
You know what's funny? My cousin literally, he texted me. He's like, "You watching this?" I was like, "No."
Birmingham?
Birmingham and Philadelphia.
Did they win?
They did win. It was actually an if you like football, this particular game was an outstanding football game. Man.
Birmingham was like undefeated.
Yeah, they ran the table.
9-1. 9-1.
That's pretty good.
So Joey Chestnut, he obviously won the hot dog eating contest.
Say
again.
his name with respect.
Joey Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut.
I will say this: the announcer there is a great hype guy.
So I'm pretty sure he runs them.
Okay,
he runs a few eating contests and this and that because that guy and Kobayashi have beef. That's why you don't see Kobayashi at Nathan's eating hot dog eating contest.
And Kobayashi. So Joey Chestnut, this is his 15th win in 16 years. Is Kobayashi? Is he the one dude that took him down? If I remember right,
he's playing on the Live Tour now.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Kobayashi still goes to New York and then sets up feats of eating down the street.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because
I know they have beef, but at some point you go like, look, man,
all beef.
This is right, all beef, and it sounds stupid, but it's like, I don't know, if Michael Jordan had a problem with the NBA, you find a way to resolve it, right? This is the only guy that legitimately can compete with Joey Chestnut.
You're right, but I watched the 30 for 30 on it, and you kind of felt bad for Kobayashi.
Sure. Because
that guy is a good hype man, but he's exactly who you think he is.
Uh-huh.
He's not the best person of the world.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. But he won another one. You know what? Let's listen to the victory.
The 15-time champion of the world with 63 Nathan's famous hot dogs and buns, Joey Chestnut.
It was a crazy contest. I'm happy I was able to come through on top.
It was crazy.
Now, Joey didn't even mention the fact that a protester got up there. He didn't miss a beat. He, slammed the dude down and then kept eating.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. That's equivalent of, I'm the wide receiver, the quarterback is throwing me the ball. I am running down the field, streaking runs on field. I take his ass out and continue my run into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's it.
I just like the idea that it sets, as far as a principle, is your work environment, right? So, in any other situation, he gets charged with assault for slamming this guy down, right?
Right.
But if you interfere with my McDonald's order, if you cut in front of me and the dude just jacks this dude up, should be clear, right?
All good.
Well, I mean, look at football players, right? If somebody runs on the field, I mean, they have kind of carte blanche to just tackle them.
Most of them don't. I always remember a video of Lilo Zato taking a guy out that ran on field, and I'm like, you might not want to do it.
Seems to me like the stage, if you're not supposed to be on it, fair game.
Right. Agreed.
Fair game.
That's a good call. Right. I can't imagine.
Security guard slams somebody who runs out onto a concert stage, the band playing, whatever. Fair game. No assault.
Well, and that's what everybody got so worked up about with Will Smith. Because a lot of comedians were like, hey, you're making us look bad because now everybody thinks they can go to a comedy club, get insulted, and then walk up and assault a comedian. Now, look, if you think a comedian's act sucks and you want to walk out of the room,
leave.
Right. But yeah, you can't be walking up on stage.
But this should have been someone taking Will Smith out before he even got to Chris Rock.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, it would have been that.
Yeah.
Or Chris Rock chokes him out and keeps telling his jokes.
Now, the other feat that went on was Eric Badland Booker, right? Booker? Yeah. He set a new record for drinking lemonade. The problem is, though, when they go to talk to him, he has just finished drinking said lemonade.
Oh, my glory! With a new world record of 1 gallon of Nathan's lemonade. Badlands Booker! Badlands, how do you feel?
Excuse the bad manners. Sorry. Woo,
he shouldn't be. Awesome. Ask anyone who's ever done a beer bong.
He just burped.
Right. And he's like, get this out of me. That guy did drink out. That was and I'm not sure the rules on how much you're allowed to spill.
Okay.
He spilled no drops. He literally had that thing right on the edge and took it down.
Hey, he's a food athlete, Miles.
I know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I watched him last week doing it with Mountain Dew and something else, so I think he's been amping up to become drinking guy now.
Okay. I got to think, if you train drinking carbonated beverages, then when you get something like lemonade, for me, it would just be the heartburn of it, but otherwise, he'll crush it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's drinking beer, you're going to burp. I love drinking soda waters at home. But yeah, I mean, even in the studio, right, it's soda water, man. Those burps are legit. You know what?
I did a bong over the weekend. It was kind of like this, it was like a White Claw thing, and it had a tube coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done that?
I have done it.
What is this?
It's a little tiny...
It's like a tiny little beer bong.
All right, but it's
you
White
pour
Claw.
the White Claw on one side, and then you kind of keep it level, and you keep your thumb on it. And I mean, it just goes in it was so good. I was like, oh, that was so easy. It was nice.
Yeah, I told you a couple weeks ago I did a beer bong. It was the first time I'd done one in years.
How'd you do?
Pretty good. So
I would imagine.
It was the 4th of July. I'm like, yeah, man, hook me up with that.
When it comes to beer bongs, Ted, you can say I haven't done it in a while, but it's like, I don't know, Peyton Manning retired from playing football, but I get the feeling if you play catch with him, you know this guy used to be a professional.
Yeah. All right.
I'm a little. I think once you doing a beer bong, I'm like, right.
I think once you master the opening up the throat lifestyle, which is what I told him, you can kill that.
It is. Well, and the funny thing, I don't talk about beer bongs, but it's like I don't even open my throat. I got to take gulps. That's why I like drinking out of cans. But yes, those weird little beer bongs, you take them everywhere with you. We had them on a tailgate tour once, and there was a lot of beer on that hotel room floor. It was pretty crazy. There's a funny video going around of Julie Louis-Dreyfus accidentally cursing in front of Elmo.
Oh, no.
It was from 1994. She gets her line wrong. It says the S word. Elmo then request $5 for swear jar.
So that was pretty well like in the beginning of Seinfeld. Because Seinfeld got popular in, 92 maybe?
You're right. I think it went off the air in 96, 97.
Damn, so just seemed like that was early on in the Friday night Seinfeld era days.
Thursday.
No, they were on at 10 o'clock originally on Friday night. So if you started getting into the show, I think it was early enough where it was not part of that big time lineup yet.
Well, people also like this old video that went viral because she looks at him and says, "You're going to be a rich Muppet at the end of this day." And then, so what it also has people are kind of noticing, like, the dude that does Elmo, like, in between takes and everything, he stays. Like, he's Elmo.
Mm-hmm. He's Elmo.
Guy from Baltimore.
Yeah.
The one thing I heard about anyone that's interacted with Muppets or Sesame Street characters, and they all say the same thing, they're like, it's weird. One, they say it's stupid because you're kind of all-stricken. All right. Kermit the Frog's talking to you. Everyone knows who it is. So even though Kermit the Frog is a piece of felt, you're still just like, oh my God, Kermit. I had that reaction when I saw the Muppets in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, their star.
Oh yeah.
But beyond that, they said, the actor that's performing the Muppets typically is directly below you. They're right there. You don't even notice them. Mm-hmm. They said, realize but they all say this. They go, we think it's going to be tough to do because I'm going to talk to the person who's speaking. But they realize at the end, they're staring in the eyes, the ping pong ball eyes of the character because you know them so well. So it could be Elmo, it could be Kermit, and they go, you feel stupid when you're done. You realize, I've never spoken to the actor. Not once do you look down and say anything to him. Like, you're talking to Kermit the Frog, and the whole time you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. In spite of the fact there's a guy with a hand up his ass, making him talk. They're like, you just look these things in the eye, and you get lost in it.
I mean, Big Bird's the only one that really is like a dude inside a correct.
Yeah. And in that documentary, I Am Big Bird, he's
a documentary called I Am Big Bird.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So he's at Jim Henson's funeral.
Okay.
Right? But he has to be Big Bird.
But he's dressed as Big Bird.
He's going to do like the Rainbow Connection. He's going to do all these songs. But he is Jim Henson's best friend.
Oh, man.
So underneath the
So is Big Bird like just bawling?
Correct.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's got to be awful to watch. Yeah. Nobody wants to see Big Bird cry.
No.
You don't because he's in the Big Bird costume.
Right.
But underneath it all, he's at a funeral, paying tribute to his friend at DAR Constitution Hall in D.C., and he is losing his crap, You
don't want to see Big Bird cry.
Which is
no.
Yeah.
Does he talk like that outside of the Big Bird costume? Like, is that his voice?
Because he was also...
I know there are a couple characters.
He was Snuffleupagus.
But is he doing the Big Bird voice at the funeral?
He is eulogizing.
So he is
his
Big Bird.
best friend as a character that his friend came up with while mourning the loss of his best friend. It's like this complete mind F. You know what I mean? Like, when you see it, you're like, oh my God, dude.
You feel worse than you would if it was just a person.
I just shouldn't have known that.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to Google it.
Watch the documentary. It's awesome. Because they bring up the space shuttle. It's the whole Big Bird story. It's the whole Big Bird story.
If you don't know, Big Bird was supposed to go on the Space Shuttle Challenger when it exploded.
Right.
Because they wanted to get kids interested in space travel, blah, blah, blah. Makes sense. But luckily, as it turns out, the costume was too big to fit inside of the shuttle cockpit. Obviously, the government's not going to spend money to retrofit it to put Big Bird's big ass in there. But had he gone up or the costume was smaller, like, kids would have witnessed Big Bird dying in an explosion.
That would have been awful.
That would be, I mean, man, if you had kids at that time, I don't know how you console them. There's nothing you can say.
Right, that situation's already bad enough.
Right. And then at least, with kids, when they saw it, you explain what happened, why it's a tragedy. If Big Bird had been in there, you would not have to explain why it's a tragedy. They would tell you.
Has anybody watched Snowflake Mountain?
No.
All right, it's on Netflix. It's out now. Basically, they took 10, 20-something, as they call them, I don't even know how you say this word, kid adults? Kid adults?
Oh, I've heard of this. And is this the one where they got in trouble on that mountain?
Yeah. So basically,
okay.
They just kind of like live off their parents or whatever, and then send them into this wilderness to compete for $50,000 while learning survival skill.
Right.
But here's the deal. They didn't sign up. Somebody else signed them up.
What?
They signed up. They thought they were going to a luxury resort to party. They were tricked by their parents in hope of them pushing them to grow up. But it still just seems crazy to me that you're actually going to take those people and just be like, all right, here it is.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Get out of the basement. Let's do this.
Well, and can you imagine how pissed you'd be? Like, oh, I'm going to a giant, like, week-long party.
Good
It's like,
party, man. Right.
It's like, no, you're out in the wilderness and you got to learn to survive.
Here comes somebody like Bear Grylls. You know what I mean? Like, this is the deal.
Yeah. And Bear Grylls, you know what I mean? Like, most people that do wilderness stuff, that do all, right, like, yeah, they're going to be in some trouble. But it's on Netflix.
Yeah, there's two dudes, like one guy's an ex-Army Ranger, the other guy's...
Oh, have you seen some of it?
I've just seen the two dudes are like war veterans who have been through some serious stuff.
All right.
So they don't care what these kids think. They're like, you know what, just you go cry. Like, you need it.
Yeah. I mean, that makes total sense. Probably like a drill sergeant or something. But yeah, you want to check that out, and then hopefully those snowflake kids will be okay, and nobody will get hurt there. Let's see, America's Got Talent. You got a brand new episode of that on tonight if you want to check that out. Other than that, there's kind of slow time of year, but there's some baseball going on.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
BECU. You've heard the name, seen the letters. But what does BECU stand for? Simply put, not-for-profit BECU stands for people. For charting your own path. For choosing what's right for members instead of what's profitable for someone else. Because they are the reason our credit union exists. So we do everything in our power to help them reach their financial goals. BECU. Power in people. All Pacific Northwest residents are eligible to join. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Tokyo man is arrested for putting his brother's skull out to recycling instead of in the compost.
Right.
Meanwhile, a cop in Florida is assaulted by a hot dog with mustard, kraut, and a bun heated toast. Woman trips child at grocery store, then sues saying that she's in pain. Calling off work after injury from a giraffe might be hard to explain. And a wildlife park saves a swarm of bees from a dinosaur's jaws. Time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top 7 in Florida, where a man decided to assault an officer. He was selling hot dogs on the side of the road, though he had received numerous warnings from officers that he was in violation of a city ordinance. Nevertheless, he persisted, which forced police intervention, but when asked to put down the hot dog that he was attempting to sell, he threw the dog at the officer, striking but not injuring him, and the man was arrested.
Sir, put down the hot dog. We will not ask again.
Right.
Put it down.
And the dude was like from 3 hours away.
Right.
To sell hot dogs.
Correct.
Like crime.
So, like, he towed a hot dog stand 3 hours?
3 hours.
To St. Pete Beach?
Like,
that's not where you're going to sell hot dogs.
Is the turnaround that good?
Maybe Dunedin or Clearwater.
Okay.
Not St. Pete Beach.
In other news, a woman in Ireland has been denied the damages compensation that she felt she had coming to her. She had taken a grocery store to court after a young child had been, quote, running amok and had knocked her down. Given that she's pregnant, she injured herself in the fall, protecting her stomach, and said that the evidence of the incident was captured on security footage.
Dummy.
Sadly for her, the footage only showed her own child running amok in the store, whom she tripped, which may have been the explanation for the injury to her leg, and even showed her laying herself down, refusing to get up until helped by staff member. Doctors also reported that the leg in which she sustained an injury changed when asked multiple times.
Oh, come on.
She was denied the $60,000 that she was seeking in damages. Man, why would you bet on the security footage when you're loading this?
Well, she also lied.
Up? Right.
She lied multiple times. Her kid was the one running amok.
Right.
And then some other kid ran by and she
tripped him.
Then she changed her leg. Then she did all the stuff.
Right. So why in the world would you say check the security footage? Like
she's had to pay for that guy's lawyer, all the things.
Right.
Like you're that person.
I feel like when people say that, it's because they don't think you'll do it if they say to do it.
It's like the guy in Jersey who claims he's injured, and next thing you know, he's posting pictures of him doing squats in the gym.
Right.
Same dude.
That guy was a bodybuilder, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Come on,
The guy was huge.
Right. Wasn't there also a guy that was trying to sue businesses because they weren't accessible?
Oh, handicap accessible, yeah.
Right.
He would get out of his car, walk around the back, open up his own wheelchair, then get in it.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. Some movie theaters are trying to cut a TikTok trend off before it gets rolling. With the release of the new Minions movie, theaters have been seeing an influx of swarms of people dressed to the nines to take over the theater and watch the movie, all whilst taking video of the odd-looking scene to post to TikTok. Some theaters have posted signs banning the well-dressed groups coming in due to destructive nature that some have wrought with them, while others are embracing large revenue boosts. So it was weird. I actually saw one of these videos, These guys all come in. They're all wearing similar suits, if not the same suit.
All right.
And they kind of do that rich guy, hands lightly fingertipped in front of you as you're just kind of sitting back.
I got you. Okay.
Pointed out. Like, I don't even know what that pose is supposed to be, but it's a very rich and sophisticated pose. I don't know why they're doing it for the Minions movie. There must be something about it. Maybe they're all pretending to be Gru. I don't get it. But that's also kids, and kids can be stupid. So
my kids saw it this weekend. I had the luxury of not going. But they liked it.
Okay.
I guess that's the other weird thing, too, is like, I get you're trying to be funny or whatever, but it's like a movie for kids.
Right.
Let the kids enjoy it.
You're a teenager, man.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bringing your TikTok trend into a kids movie? Don't mind you going. I mean, I'll go to a kids movie. They're great. But
sure.
Damn. A wildlife park in England got a little too wild. Crews were called to the park after a swarm of bees decided to set up shop inside. But where the colony decided to converge got a lot of pictures taken. The park has a prehistoric section featuring models of some of our favorite dinosaurs that we've come to know and love over the years, and it appears the bees are rather fond of the velociraptor, as they've all gathered right inside the gaping mouth of one of them, one of the models standing in the park. Crews were able to safely relocate the insects, and if you have a chance to check out the photos of that, it's actually pretty nuts.
It's awesome. I saw it because I couldn't quite piece together what was going on. And finally I clicked on it and I'm like, that is a terrifying picture.
It is. And I don't care where they are, but for whatever reason, a swarm of bees just converging on one location will never stop blowing my mind.
I feel like a nest is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Unless you step on it.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason. Like if it's in a tree, whatever, like
we're good.
Obviously you need to move it, but
sure.
Like it's not going to really hurt you.
I feel like
unless
there was
you step on it.
I feel like there was a lot more bees nests when I was growing up.
I don't know if that's true or if it's just the fact that as a kid you become a pain magnet.
Maybe.
Like, I would argue there was more dog poop when I was a kid because I always stepped in it.
You're also
seemed like
outside a
more
lot.
bees, right?
Right.
Because you're constantly getting stung. Yeah, I don't know.
You also had to go up there and poke the side of it.
Right. It wasn't enough to know it's there. It's like, hey, grab a stick. See if what everyone, 100% of people say it's a bad idea.
Well, we just had a beehive out here at the building.
Oh, did we?
Did we?
Yeah.
I do remember that. I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, and I got stung.
You serious?
Yeah, I got stung like 2 weeks ago. I met VD here. We were going somewhere. And
You ate a banana.
I'm sure I did. Yeah.
Zap.
Man, it was painful.
It still sucks.
It sucks.
Yeah.
I got
Which is crazy because you can get a vaccination shot that goes in much deeper.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. But
it's not designed to hurt you.
Those little buggers, man.
Yeah.
They get the poison in there. Like,
I got stung on the fingertip last summer. That sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked. Sticking with zoos, we go to Nebraska where someone got one of the exhibits shut down for a few days. The zoo posted a notice on their social media informing potential guests that one of their features needed to be closed, the outdoor giraffe feeding experience. Turns out one of their guests had gotten injured at the feature, which led them to keep the giraffes inside until they properly assessed the situation, though what actually transpired in the incident is still unknown to the public. Which I kind of want to know just the extent of what exactly these giraffes did. Like, did they kick somebody? Did they do the full-on neck swing and whack into the side of them like we were talking about last week?
Like, they look stupid, but it turns out they're pretty goddamn deadly.
They're pretty smart, man. But that is it for your headlines. And with that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Men's Room Happy Hours up next exclusively on the Odyssey app. We'll see you there.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
BECU. You've heard the name, seen the letters. But what does BECU stand for? Simply put, not-for-profit BECU stands for people, for charting your own path, for choosing what's right for members instead of what's profitable for someone else, because they are the reason our credit union exists. So we do everything in our power to help them reach their financial goals. BECU, power in people. All Pacific Northwest residents are eligible to join, federally insured by NCUA.